Clicking the link, lean in, your grin, two mics, one vibe. All right, let's dive.
Maya,
Hey,
what's going on?
Hi,
hey,
Chase.
Chase.
Hey, what's going on? Look at you, got the headset like you've been playing Halo all night.
It's noise canceling.
Look at Chris Renner, boy.
My
He
son
shines
is
like a
sitting
new
over
penny.
here.
All right, thank
All
you,
right.
Chase.
Yeah,
I love
you
your
look like you about
backdrop.
to interview the president. So, Mr. Trump, I got you on your bullshit. No, that's great. That was great.
This
That's
is
great.
going to be a good interview, Chase. I can already tell that
It
that
is.
humor, that Chase
Can you
Dudley
give
humor.
me 60 seconds because the shirt that I meant to wear, I'm going to promote my new movie, A Widow's Oath. Is that okay? I'll be
That's
back in
fine.
like Clark Kent.
Sure.
1
50.
second.
For that backdrop.
Yeah, that's nice.
I think he uses that for the convention.
Yeah, I've seen that in the videos.
I think he's missing his new movie on there. Yeah, he needs to update that. Because Beast of there's Between the
I
Living and Dead.
see.
Oh,
Looks like Payday,
Widow Oath is not up there.
Payday, The Desperate, and
Between the Living Dead, Beast in the
okay,
Field, Blood in the
yeah.
Bleachers. I think other side is Payday. Okay, that was
All
more
right,
than 60 seconds.
A Widow's Oath. All
Told you.
right, that looks good.
Thank you.
You need a new
Okay.
banner.
Yes. Oh well, that one. So, as an introduction for all the listeners out there, we have the great honor of having director, writer, producer, and actor also Chase Dudley. Thank you so much for being here today, Chase.
Hey, thank you. Thank you.
Yes,
Most
yes.
people don't know me as an actor. I usually
Well,
don't. I
I
don't usually
certainly do.
promote that aspect, but I am an actor.
Yes, I know you are. Yeah, yeah. That's why I had to throw that in. And for a little history, which I have to add because you're one of the guests that I invited, and I have some history with you. I first met you, Chase, back in October of 2012 after I
Wow,
found
very
your film
specific.
Past Due. Yeah, totally by chance on YouTube. I watched the movie, really liked it, and reviewed it very favorably. You contacted me right after that, thanking me and agreed to do an interview. And I remember we met at a coffee shop, actually,
Hey,
here in
brothers.
Louisville, had the interview in November of the same year. And afterwards, of course, we became uh, true friends. We
Yeah.
became
Oh,
true
yeah.
friends. We went out to see some movies together, and then of course we found out that we have a lot more in common than just movies, which we'll talk more about later. And like the guests I've had recently, you are still one who was at the top of my list of people I would invite as a VIP guest. So, again, thank you so much for being here today, Chase. We greatly appreciate it.
No, dude, thank you so much for having me. I absolutely adore you and Lynn Maya. You guys are some of my favorite people. And I still remember my favorite experience that we went to go catch a movie was Django Unchained. We went to go
Yeah.
see that on Christmas.
Yes.
Oh, man, I felt so bad for laughing at some of the dialogue that was written that I don't know was intended to be funny, but it was.
Probably
But
was.
Yeah, I
yeah,
remember you laughing a lot. Yes. And I did too. We were all laughing quite a bit. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
My favorite memory is honestly a moment in the movie where it was a loud gunshot and you spilled your popcorn.
Yeah, that sounds like me.
I was like, Chris, this is not a horror movie. It's okay.
Yeah, I guess I'm a little gun shy, maybe. I don't know, but yeah, I do. I'm remembering that more now. I think
Yes.
maybe I repressed it in my
No,
memory, but it's
dude,
kept.
it was the surround sound speaker. We literally had that 3D,
Yeah. Yes. So Maya,
Sorry.
would you
No, go
like
ahead.
to ask the first actual question, or since I've talked so much
Go.
already?
No, go ahead. What is it, son? I'm sorry. My son was surprisingly home today, so
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
you're fine. You're
what is
fine.
it,
I
son?
have kids and I know all about the
I'm
surprises.
sorry.
So first, Chase, I'm going to ask you how you
Then
got
go out to the
into
living room.
making movies and directing. That's always a question that has a very uniquely different answer for everybody. And so, in looking at your IMDb filmography, I see that the first thing I saw was a film called Last Breath in 2008. So, did you get your start uh, uh, acting or making films with Last Breath, or sometime earlier with something else? Tell us about that.
Well, Last Breath is my first uncredited feature film, and I don't really like to talk about that
Oh,
movie.
okay. Well,
It
well,
is.
then,
I mean, it's on IMDb. It is an awful film, and nobody would ever see that movie.
okay.
I like to credit Past Due as my
Oh,
first feature film
okay.
because I felt like the editing and
Hmm.
it looked like a film. Last Breath, before I didn't even know an editor. I
Yeah.
shot that in 2007 and came out in 2008. I didn't know anybody. Social media was very, very new. So I did it myself. And that's why nobody would ever see it.
Well, I have not seen it. I just ask
And you
about it
never
because
will.
it's the first one on there. But the next, that moves me on to the next. What did you want to say more about how you got into?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I
So
forgot.
I mainly acted in it, and I started off making movies. I wanted to be an actor. In the 2000s, I cannot tell you how much money I spent trying to get into LA, do the things that everybody was doing. And before social media, you had like this website of these, like these agents, and you had to pay to get in to even have your headshot and resume listed. And you hope to get lucky to somebody who go look, who's this guy? And it's I just was waiting and waiting. And if you ever seen the movie Be Cool with Dwayne the Rock Johnson, when he's like, "You said you was gonna call me, when?" That is a struggle that I can relate to. That when you are really trying to get started off, you don't understand the logistics of how the business works. You want everything to happen now, and you don't understand the processes. You're staring, waiting at that phone. And back then, they didn't really have a lot of caller ID phones. So every phone ring, you're hoping to God that is somebody on the other end telling you, "Hey, we saw your headshot. We would love for you to come to LA."
Yeah.
That's the delusion that you have. When you're young and you're trying to break into the industry. Because as a kid, if I see a camcorder, I'm always trying to purposely do something to interact myself into somebody's camera. And I knew then I really wanted to be into the industry. But growing up, I think everybody's first love is the acting aspect of it because that's what you see. You don't know that there's a director. You don't know that there's all these people behind the scenes to make all that happen. So I think the actor is appetizing to a lot of people because that's what you see. So once I got my camcorder from my parents and I started shooting, I realized that I was always had to insert people into my movies, and I was telling them what I needed them to do. Okay, in a second, this guy's gonna come around and he's gonna kill you. And then I didn't realize I'm directing. Um, so the more I got frustrated with waiting for that phone call that never came, I started doing it myself and then kind of started inserting myself into movies. And then, of course, you see it with Past Due and Peyton's Burden. Then I realized that I. I'm getting a lot. I mean, directing and acting is way two different mediums. And what I realized is like it's each project got very overwhelming of what I needed to do in front of the camera and behind the camera. And it got to a point where payday came. I had to really have an honest conversation of, am I an actor or am I a director? Because I clearly cannot be both. And I think as I got older, I really started feeling like I'm better at behind the scenes than I am as much as I love in front of the screen. And that's where I really felt like my journey really started to take off.
Well, I'm glad I asked that question because I learned quite a bit from, especially how
I
difficult
don't really
it
get to normally
is.
talk about these things, so I appreciate you asking me
Yeah,
that question.
It
that's why I
came
say
natural.
it's a, yeah, sure. It's a question that I ask a lot of people, but I do because it always has such a unique and very interesting answer. So
Thank you.
yeah, I enjoyed that. And just so as a quick follow up, since we talked about Past Due, and I did not see that in your filmography on IMDb. Perhaps I overlooked it,
No,
but
you're right. It's not. I do need to add it. Back then, IMDb was so hard to even. Um, it was something I meant to get around to having somebody do, and actually now that when I get off this, I'm gonna have my wife go ahead and get that up there. It's just something you don't really think about so
right.
long. There was actually somebody that did a review, and they were like, "I didn't even know this movie existed."
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
It's just like
it
it's no IMDb, and I'm like, "That's fair." So I
yeah.
do need to get that done.
Yeah, I agree. It should be there. One of the things I liked about it so much, and I've told you this before, is how it has this sort of a I've used the word Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but it has that kind of feel to it.
Yeah,
It's a gritty type of a that the serial killer atmosphere that it has, and the way it's filmed as it is, even as an early film that you did, I feel it's very effective that way.
thank
Actually,
you. It
I've always felt that way about it.
No, and I really appreciate it. It was actually influenced a lot by Bates Motel.
Okay, yeah,
I kind of was like, what could a socially awkward guy who doesn't really have a lot of outside social life with a lot of people, what would he be like? And um, I was in a I was at the Barnes and Noble, and I was like a librarian. What if he kills you for overdue library
yeah,
books?
yeah. And what I also liked is that was such a I had never seen a movie with that plot idea where someone gets killed over an overdue book. So I love those fresh new movie ideas like that. That's something else. So
Believe it or not, especially in today's terms, you're seeing people kill people for less.
yes,
That's
It's
true. Or
you know,
just because.
yeah,
just because
Yeah.
and so and that's kind of where I kind of centered the ideal around. And ironically, I've never really said this out loud, but Marvelous Mandy originally intended to be a reboot of Past Due, but the story was so interesting it became his own film.
okay, yeah. Well, Maya, I've talked a
So,
lot, so it's your turn.
so I see that you're doing a lot of conventions. Are you attending every convention there is there in Kentucky, when you get a chance, or like what's your next convention that you're doing?
We are doing the Days of the Dead in Indianapolis, which is the largest of the chain, and we actually met the promoter Chris, who actually does the booking and stuff like that, and they actually invited us to the Indianapolis and the Chicago one later on this year.
Wow.
And I feel like it was something that I've been meaning to do for a while, but like sometimes you can relate to this because I get in my head sometimes, and you always are encouraging me,
Yeah.
and I'm grateful for people like you. But it never occurred to me that I had enough catalog in my resume to really start going to conventions. I just didn't want to be that one filmmaker that has one movie, and it's kind of like, back in the day, you go to a person and this guy have like used DVDs, and it's just like, hey man, I got to do two DVDs. You know what I mean? I didn't want to be that guy. So I wanted my table to really have an appeal and different catalogs that appeal to people. And when we started really doing this, as of last year, I'm noticing that people were really stopping and they were starting to really look into our resume. And, now I'm collecting all of my work that I used to be ashamed of. Like, but when Chris Renner and you guys mentioned some of my older work, that I mean, again, I'm like, it's not what I feel like I'm capable of doing, but it's still a milestone to where I'm at now. So now I promote them a lot more because I see what you guys mean. And because I was at a convention and my wife wanted to put past due on the table, and I'm like, you're absolutely not going to do that. It's blasphemy. That's like a Ouija board. You're not putting that on the table. And she was like, honey, it's your work. You should be proud. And Miko Hughes overheard that. And he came over and he said, dude, that's your work, man. You should be proud. And I put it on the table. And sure enough, I had a panel. And I come back. My kids sold every last copy of that.
Wow.
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 And it really changed my perspective. I was like, wow. Because I'm like, if somebody had one chance or one shot to insert themselves into my journey of work, I guess I'm always like my latest one. But I'm glad that a lot of my older work still has the appeal of some of my newer work. It's not always something that everybody is fortunate to have, but I guess maybe, I don't know, as an artist, are we ever satisfied?
Yeah. I would ask like go, does going to convention help with your filmmaking, help with
It
your
does.
journey? And yes, it obviously it does
And
because
that's
it's
not
bringing
even a
so much
tip of
connections.
Yes, that's not even the tip of the iceberg. You meet other people.
Yeah.
Hell,
Right.
the last couple movies that I shot, I've met um, Miguel A. Nunez at a
Yeah, there you
convention, and I literally told him,
and
I
he's
showed him
part
the
of your
trailer for The
movie?
Desperate, and I was like, hey man, so would you work non-union? And pardon my French, but this was his words. He said, man, fuck union. He gave me his phone number, and he's like, you
Oh
better
my
call me.
God.
So guess what? When I had the story together, I was like, "Hey Miguel, so you remember you told me to call you?" And yeah, so and I got him. Um,
I
I
know
I
that's
met
awesome.
I met some amazing people. I met Danielle Harris and
Oh.
at the Scarefest, and the next thing you know, I didn't have a table at the Scarefest last year, but I went up to her, I paid for a picture, and I was just like, "Hey, I'm a filmmaker," and she just gave me that look like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." And,
Oh.
but that was the vibe. But I'm pretty sure she gets that a lot, right?
Right.
So,
Yeah.
and fast forward that into February, we was in Atlanta Days of the Dead. She comes over to our table and she picks up
Oh.
a Blood in the Bleachers and she takes it.
Oh. Well.
All
So
Well,
right.
well.
Danielle, if you're watching, call me. Uh,
Or you can look on IMDb and call her your number.
I have.
Yeah.
I told her her agent is very, very like.
I think I remember a Facebook post you made right after she bought the movie.
Yes,
Am I
I was
right?
like,
Okay. Yeah.
I was like, I can send the picture too if you want me to.
Yeah.
I
Plus,
tell
it's
you another person I met that she was even. I mean, she was just as amazing. I love Scout Taylor Compton. She is so bubbly. Every time I see her, she's like, "I'm still waiting on the email," because because when I was talking to Danielle Harris, I see her started to kind of chime in, fish in, and try to see what's going on here. And I told her I was a filmmaker, and she's like, "Well, why haven't you cast me on my movie?" And I said, "Well, I tried to get you for Blood in the Bleachers," and she's like, "My manager didn't tell me." And I showed her the email, and I said, "This is your manager, right?" And she's like, "Yeah." I said, "They said you wasn't working." And her face turned red, and she looked at me, and she was like, "Contact me next time."
Oh, well
So
then.
yeah, you know what I mean. I said I offered some pretty good money for you too. I was so it's one of those things like now I'm starting to really get and connect. Like I tell you, a person also another person I'm talking to. She gave me her contact information. I was a little shocked that she did because when I
Is
say
that
this name, a lot of people have mixed reviews about her. I have a great relationship with her. I just think it's how you approach somebody of the type of person she is, and that's Linda Blair. I love Linda Blair. Um, from The Exorcist, she's amazing.
mhm.
We talk all the time because I have a reptile room. She loves like my reptiles, so I show her I do my feeding videos and stuff like that. And I was just like, "Hey, I would love to work with you, by the way." Huh? Huh? And it's not. She didn't say no.
That's
So yeah, so it's I don't know where that's gonna go, but
what's that?
it's one of those things like, hey, we shall
Get
see.
over there, please.
well, it's always
I love the dramatic pan in when Maya Lynn did it for her. That was a very dramatic zoom in. It was
It just automatically does.
no,
yeah.
that was great. I was like,
Well,
oh shit,
that's
what's going on?
something only a great director would notice on a podcast. The way
I don't
these
know. I was
camera.
like, uh-oh, what can we getting in here?
Yeah.
I
So
was like I was
I
a serious home mom pen of what did I tell you? I told you I'm doing a podcast.
so I was searching on IMDb just to look, and then I was like, oh, let me see what set skills extra he has, and I was shocked that you know how to rollerblade, swimming.
Yeah,
Not
most
because
black
you're
people
black.
don't, but I
Not
can.
because you're black.
I knew where you were going with the mic.
I obviously know you would know basketball and football. I didn't know you box.
I did what?
Boxing?
Yes, I actually when I was doing pro wrestling, there was a guy who kind of
You do
gassed
pro
me up.
wrestling too?
Oh
Yeah,
my
I
gosh.
wrestled for OVW. I was Mr.
What?
Showtime Chase Daniels. Yeah. I had
Wow.
like a promo where I did like I was pretending to be The Rock because I can actually sound just like The Rock.
Do it.
And I actually even got the rock bottom.
Ooh,
Because like he came out and it was like 10 seconds, I got rock bottom and that was it. This was like in 1999, 2000. I was doing like backwards flips. I
oh
was
my goodness.
really cruiserweight, taking headshots, getting set on fire.
My
Yeah,
goodness.
yeah, I was really into that,
Wow.
especially the Attitude Era of WWF. Because I was like, Showtime Chase Daniels was gonna come out. I am the real Rock. Let me, and I was really into that. And back then when I had hair, like so I was actually able to do curly hair. So yeah, I had like a little gimmick where I was pretending to be the great one. But movie making was always my passion. So once I was like, I really want to pursue making movies. Hi. He's so handsome. But once I was like, my heart always was into making movies, you know. So once it was always a gap missing, you know what I mean? Like even when I was doing boxing, training for boxing, because there was this guy that was like, "Man, you have a great build to be a boxer," and I was doing it for a while, and then my first match got knocked the fuck out.
Oh.
I went straight in, and I was like,
Oh no.
"No." No. And that's why every time I see that Mike Tyson quote, everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth.
Yeah.
Absolutely true. And that made me reevaluate. I am not a fighter. I have
Well,
many talents. Fighting is not one of them.
I had no idea about these extra things about you, Chase,
It's fun.
with the boxing and
Yeah.
yeah. So I have a question about A Widow's Oath,
Hmm.
which I know will be your next film. And I have seen you on Facebook recently scouting out some locations,
Yeah.
which look really good. And you said
Just
yourself they
have it,
looked
baby.
to be promising.
Go. Mommy got one.
I'm
Go.
wondering if,
Bye.
since this is a period film which
Go
looks to
on.
be set in what I believe is medieval times, am I
Hmm.
correct? Okay.
Yes.
So, and I think this is your first period film. So, have
It
you
is.
found that finding the location for this or anything about your first period film to be more challenging than your previous films? And I know you'll find some creative way to deal with it. And if so, what are maybe some ideas you've had about doing that?
Oh, dude, that's a really good question. And to be honest with you, every movie I have shot has had its challenges of the locations, and I have not found one to be easier than the other. Blood in the Bleachers, we had to go through a lot of red tape to get permission to shoot into a public school. That
Yeah.
was a lot. I can't believe they said yes. So when they said yes, I'm like, can you say that again? I was expecting them. No, I thought we were going to have to go into a private school and make it look like a public school. But when they said yes, I was like, wow, I can't believe that.
Yeah.
The Desperate, we had so many different locations, and then we had to find areas with, high chase scenes. I think the most challenging up to date has been Between the Living and the Dead because finding that right country home and just really having as many acres as possible for like not like if the world collapsed and everybody's foraging for food like and you're trying to do like this story of how these people have never been found. You kind of have to really make it believable that they're in this area of land that just have not really been discovered. Yeah, because
Was
again, it's so many things that you're gonna be like, well, how the hell people not find these people yet? Or you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it was a lot, and then you had to find a lot of the abandoned buildings. That was
Hmm.
very hard because there was even though it's abandoned, there was still you still had to get permission to go to some of these places to get permission to shoot
Hmm.
there. And that was very difficult. And one thing with Between the Living and the Dead was I didn't give myself a lot of time to prep for the next film because I immediately went to pre-production for the
Just
next
like
film.
last time.
Yes, just like the last time. And it's it's a challenge. But to answer your question with the Widow's Oath, luckily Damien gave me a heads up and a tip of I already got the groundwork going while I was on set, and I've already set up the meeting to meet Tim in Lagrange. I met the owner, and they really they have shot a movie there, and they have a lot of the locations we need. We're gonna definitely need to find like a cottage in like a small area that I preferably can be near the ocean. So I probably would be doing a little scouting in South Carolina for that kind of scene. And I'm in the works of getting permission to shoot in the castle in Versailles, Kentucky.
Oh, okay.
Castle.
Yeah, so
Chris
Yeah.
was
that I mean, honestly, it's just very exciting because every movie I try not to make it easy because I feel like like if you get in your comfort zone and you just kind of play it safe, I don't feel like you're really breaking any new ground. Filmmaking, I think it's kind of the drought we are in now, where I think everybody can agree that we are kind of in a rut, kind of like the 50s. I think a lot of movies that are being put out are too safe. I just feel
Yes.
like
Oh,
um,
yeah.
I think that's the reason why the 70s, 80s, and I think the tail end of the 90s was that golden era of film where you were just seeing some of the biggest challenges. And I mean, look at The Abyss with James Cameron, look at
Hmm.
Terminator 2, look at Jurassic Park. All of those movies were all told that they cannot be made on the scale that they were made, but the filmmakers pushed the envelope and boundaries, and now they are the films that we are studying from and wondering why did they work out so well.
I'm glad you also talked about
Castle.
Between the Living and the Dead because I was also wondering about any difficulties you may have had with
It
that as
was
well.
very
So yeah,
difficult. We
yeah.
launched for one. It launched on the wrong day. We was advertising that it was going to launch on November 5th on Indiegogo, and this was right at the midst of Indiegogo making all those big changes, and Indiegogo declined our although we have four successful films and we even had a verified
Uh,
proven trust.
what was their
they
reason?
they said that we have not. I can't even
It
remember,
doesn't
but
make
it
any
was just a
sense.
yeah, it was just a shock.
You had
Um,
successful campaigns, like high successful campaigns.
I know, and that's the thing. So we were really perplexed. Then I was like, what am I going to do? Am I just going to give up on crowdfunding altogether, or because I was like, I don't know if I want to do Kickstarter because I was like, I don't. I mean, I don't really like. I don't know anything about Kickstarter. So learning to use a new platform and then launching the project, and then then as soon as we launched, we got approved by
Holiday.
Kickstarter. It was like two weeks later, so everybody was confused at that point. Everybody was like, "When are you launching?" I thought you were launching November 5th. What is going on? So trying to, I guess, get everybody up to speed about the challenges and everything, and then trying to answer questions. Um, we had our lowest day one out of all projects. And then they had a government shutdown. Then just a lot of civil unrest going on in the
Tax.
world that started off. Then, we stole a president in another country, and it's just so much going on in the world right now that a lot of people are looking everywhere but filmmaking. And luckily, because I even told Maya, because Maya was supposed to be in this movie, and there was so much I had to cut out the movie because I just was like, this was originally going to be a two-part movie. I was going to shoot it at once. What I really wanted to raise for this movie, I did not raise, and because I mean, about good 35% of the budget went to just costumes alone. We spent about 30 grand on like, that's the costumes and the wardrobe and all of that and the weapons. And I mean, like, that was a lot of money. You had to build a lot of it from scratch because, again, this is not like something you go and like Toys R Us or Target or something like that, and just get like a knife. You had to really make these knives like tribe people made it, and so a lot of these weapons were made out of bone and all kinds of stuff, and it just was a lot. And locations was expensive. I mean, shooting mostly outdoor. Then you had to make these, tents. Like it just was a lot. So I told Maya, I was like, I don't even think I'm going to be able to shoot this movie. But luckily, the last 2.5 months, I got a private investor that gave me about $50,000. And then I had another investor to come in and gave me a pretty big amount, and so it kind of matched up to what we raised for the Desperate, but it was pretty scary. I still really wanted to shoot it at two parts because I was going to release it kind of like Quentin Tarantino did with Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2, like release
You
them
can
exactly
still
a
do
year.
it two-parter, right? You
Oh,
didn't
I
give it
can, I
an yeah.
can, I can, but since it did not, of course, do as well at first, I just want to make sure before I get too ahead of myself. I just want to make sure that since everybody, with the trailer, the way people responded, and I just want to see how the marketing and how everything does before I just rush and go back to it. You know what I mean? Like maybe that was a lesson, maybe that was a reason. But I'm always also another person that's always on to the next type of ideal. And you know this better than anybody. Um, like I was like, I really want to do a period piece, and everybody's like, there is no way you'll be able to do a period piece. You know how expensive that movie's going to be? And I was like, I know, right? But that's what makes it so interesting. And we opened up to $40,000.
You're
Um,
you're the kind that when someone says that's impossible, you can't do it, and you're like, yeah,
Hold
let's
my beer.
do it. Let's do
It's going to
it.
be either epic success or epic failure, but
So
I
far, it's
tried.
been successful. You're
Yeah.
good.
Yes.
You got a good team though. Like everyone seems amazing.
Yes. Well, I mean, first and foremost, none of this would have been possible if it wasn't for my wife. Um, she really is the person. You remember meeting me in October in 2012, Chris. I was all over the place because it's hard to handle the business aspect, handle legal agreements, and a lot of these things on top of focusing on your artistic expression. Because Lynn Maya, you've helped me significantly on. You were my first unofficial AD for my movie
Final offense.
Final Offense, and it's unfortunate that it did negligence. And I don't want to get into it, but yeah.
Lost the footage.
Yeah, don't want to get into that because it pisses me off because that would have been a good movie. Um, and I don't talk about it a lot because I try not to go back to you can't change the past. But
Yeah.
it was one of those things, man. It would have been a great film, and that's where we met. And I thought you did a really good job in that film, and you helped me so much to get through that movie because I was tackling on way too much by
You had
myself.
a lot.
Yeah, and you were like helping me cut scenes. You were like, I also saved you some money here. I took a pay cut right here because I'm trying to help you manage money. And I'm like, you don't have to do that. And you're like, I'm just trying to help. And I'm like, but that's the one thing that always stood out with me with you is you have the heart of gold. And a lot of people in this industry, they don't have that, or they do and they don't show it. But you show it. You're a very giving person, and you're very much of a team player. And that's
I
why I've
got my
always
head. My head's too big now. I
no.
can't fit my head. I can't
You're
fit my
very
head.
humble. That's what I appreciate about you. I can tell you these things and you still are. But my wife really was like, you really need to get an LLC. And then, she consults with my attorney to make the legal agreements. She makes a killer schedule.
It's awesome.
That's the things that, of course, when we worked together, I didn't even know how would I even do that. And that to me is where a lot of the success comes in. A lot of people would love to look like they did all of that as a credit, but for me, I'm only as good as my team. And
Dream team.
yes, the dream team, and just making sure that we hire ambitious, hardworking people. I am not a fan. I don't like lazy people. I don't like, because if you want to be successful, a lot of people in this industry would just want people to take you with them and they don't want to put in the work. I have
Yep.
been a victim of people's laziness time after time after time after time after time to the point I even quit 3 years because I was just tired of being a victim of people's negligence and laziness. And I'm glad that I didn't quit. I'm glad that my wife and my children really talked me back into making movies again.
Isn't it awesome that you're doing you're being a filmmaker, your dream job, that you don't have to go to like a 9 to 5 day job anymore? How
No,
awesome is that?
it is great. I'm in my pajamas now. You see these ghost face pajamas?
Yeah.
This is great. I get to go out and say hi to my neighbors. Top of the morning, March.
Now you know your neighbors.
Yeah, pick up the paper, the dream, you know,
Like
is
in the movies where I go in
yes.
the morning, hello,
Yeah.
pick up my paper in the morning, come in, eat
Yes,
breakfast.
and I'm not rich by any means of a stretch,
But you're
um,
doing what you
but
always wanted to do, and you have a
exactly, and
wonderful
that to
family.
me is rewarding within itself. I don't need to be rich. I just want to be able to like do what I love doing, and that's where I'm contributing. And I feel like people are getting the best version of myself because you're at somewhere you don't really want to be. You're not probably going to be the nicest person in the world, right?
Well, guess what? You have a wonderful life, a wonderful wife, wonderful
Yes.
kids, and a wonderful job.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
I'm
And
I'm
It's not really a
truly I'm.
job. It's just something you
It is
love.
it because I mean it pays the bills. It's something to do, but it's a job that I love doing.
Yeah. Well, it's not a
And my
job
wife
if
and
you love doing
kids,
it.
yeah, my wife and kids. I mean, I spoil everybody because again, it's when it comes to like them stepping up. Like sometimes, like we had an event last year when we had 600 people at the Blood and the Bleachers world premiere. They
That
actually
was
stepped in.
insane.
That I could not believe it when we
The
got
theater was
there.
filled.
Yeah, when we seen all the people lined up, I looked at Sam. Sam looked at me. I was like, "Is that for us?" I could not believe it because you just never know, and that was really kind of like where I really started to see, okay, maybe people do love me, um, because it's you never know the impact you make of on people, and I always try to be positive and fun spirited and stuff like that, but not everybody always appreciates that, and
Yeah.
filmmaking is it's very tough, because it's not as tough as going to war or anything like that, but it's tough and it really makes you work on your emotional discipline because you hear a lot of discouraging things, you hear a lot of horrible things about yourself, and you kind of have to start to realize that you don't have to react to every time somebody calls you out. And
Wow.
I'm in that era in my career where almost every day I see a screenshot of somebody talking smack, and it's just like,
Seriously.
okay, let's keep it moving. And I even tell people I don't even want to see it no more. Like because I got a movie to make, and um, there was a quote by Anthony Hopkins that I really, really appreciated. He said, "What people think of me is none of my business." And I had to
I
say that's
I like
probably
that.
yeah,
Mhm.
because and once you really apply that to yourself, you will be so much happier because no matter how much you try, you could not change somebody's perception of you.
You can't please
And
everyone in the world anyways.
Right.
no, I mean, well, and then like furthermore, like you know who you are 24/7 because you are, but everybody has a different encounter of you. And some people like I will be completely calm and they think that I'm completely an asshole. And I'm like, I didn't think so, but like for example,
How
I
I
would
am is how you make me treat you. So,
no, like I went to Arby's. We were in Cleveland. We went to a convention. This was in February. That Leonora Skelfo got us booked into. Big shout out to Leonora Skelfo. Um, and Sam was like, "I'm hungry," and I was like, "Okay." So she was like, "I want Arby's," and I seen it was across the street. It was a Wendy's. I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna have Wendy's." So Sam got this burger, and as soon as they gave me the food, they immediately shut the door. And I'm like trying to, hey, and then nobody gets there. So I honked my horn and she opens the door and I was like, could you give me a second to even see if I want any condiments? And she's like, dude, there's no sense for that. Like, you take your attitude somewhere else. Like, you're being
what?
really rude. And I looked at Sam like, Is she being for real? Sam looked at me and I was
Wow.
like, I don't think I'm being rude, but don't you think you should ask your customer what it is that you want? So Sam ended up like parked the car. So she went in there. She went to go. I don't even want to eat here. You know. So she got the food back. But long story short, I felt that I was calm, but maybe to her I wasn't. I don't know, but I felt that I was calm. I was sarcastic, yes,
Yeah.
but I just, like today, customer service is so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chase, you already mentioned Samantha, but I did have a question or a comment. I was going to say that no interview with Chase Dudley could be complete without mentioning Samantha, because I've heard you so often talk about so much of what she does to support you and help you with your filmmaking. I hear about that, and you are so fortunate to have a wife that is so supportive. So if
That's why I mentioned that so much, not even to overtalk you. I
oh no
mentioned
that
that. Was there a question? I'm sorry.
oh no, I was just I wanted to give you my comment. What I wanted to add, I want to give you time to talk more about Samantha because
Oh
I've heard
yeah,
yeah.
I love to because I feel like you ever hear people they always say something very unpleasant about their spouse, and I'm like, you're with them, right? But for me, she was the first person that I've met that go, you know what, I believe in you because she's a musician. Maya even went to her show. She's
Mhm.
incredible. I'm very disappointed that she doesn't do both. But she saw where I was struggling and selflessly she put that on hold, although I told her not to, and she made it a goal to really support me. And I hate that because you only get one dream in life. And I'm always like, you can always make music from a movies. You can always still do both. I mean, we're very busy, but you can always, time. I mean, everybody's busy, but it's how you manage time in a day. But the fact that she was the first person that really saw the wagon, seen that it needed work, and fixed it up. And now I'm pulling the wagon. She doesn't want to hop on the bandwagon. She really helped build the wagon. And I'm very lost for words because um, a lot of people, like especially you got dreams and goals of your own. A lot of people don't really have time to help you or make it a goal to make that your dream too. Um, and the fact that she runs the business. So anytime she's like, "Hey, honey, can I get?" Yes. The why you're asking? Yes, yes, yes. um, because again, I can't tell you how much this dream means to me, and for someone to not have that dream, but also make that their dream, it takes a lot of love and sacrifice for a person. And I'm
And
not
yeah,
sure. I'm not sure I can say anybody else loved me that much.
and it really is such a blessing to have a spouse who is so supportive, because that's not necessarily going to be the case for
Yeah,
some
no,
people.
I, I
And it just
actually
yeah.
I actually got a divorce with my first marriage because that was the exact opposite.
Mhm.
Um, you know, um, I feel, in my opinion, a healthy relationship is not really telling somebody what to do or not to do. It's like, I'm not her father, I'm her husband. I can advise, I can give my opinion on something I like
Yes.
or don't like, but ultimately, that's your free will. Um, that's you are your own person. I mean, I have boundaries and she has boundaries, and it's very important to establish those boundaries. But ultimately, I see a lot of relationships where I hear people say, "Oh, my husband would kill me if I did that." I'm like,
Yes.
you
Yeah.
only get one life, and my dream, I'm going to achieve it with you or without you. Preferably with you, but that is a huge identity. And when you're not living your dream and you're not, it's a really slow suicide. It really is because you're not very much of a happy person. Like before things really started to work out for me, I was not happy like with myself or my journey. And I probably wasn't a pleasant person like I feel like I am now where I'm at now. Like now I'm like the happiest I've ever been.
Yeah, I can tell you're definitely happy. That's one of the keys to being successful when you've got that content, happy feeling. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
no, because I mean, I've seen, my parents come home from a job that they hate. Um, And then since you're not really where I guess you would choose life to be, or I mean, a lot of people I've known where they're not really at a particular moment in life they are, and so when you're having a conversation about something, you won't talk about it, like you're like, leave me alone. I'm gonna watch TV, and I gotta escape from the reality that I'm in.
right,
Um, and I don't want to be a hypocrite to my children either. I feel like if I can look my kids in the eye and tell them that they can be anything and they want in the world, but I'm not being anything I want and achieve in the world, then I'm not giving them a good model of what they can be.
right.
So I have a question that I've been wanting to ask you. So
Okay.
in between the living and the dead, were the grass lawn mold?
No,
Good, because I was like, I remember we used to talk about The Walking Dead, and then all the lawns always mold every time they filmed it.
no, yeah, I know, right? 'Cause that's something you notice, and you're a queen for catching things. No, we had Damien not cut anything. It was, I mean, as a matter of fact, I mean, it was like moments where it was getting stuck. Like I was catching snake after snake because
Oh,
the grass
I
was
saw
high.
those snakes. That
Oh,
was awesome.
Oh, dude, I was
Did you
loving it.
use
Like,
I
it
bet
in
you
the
were.
film? Did you
uh,
use the
I
snakes in
really
the
wanted to, but a lot of people was afraid of them.
scared?
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
Oh,
but I really, the one that the rat snake that we caught like crossing a tree
the
branch, which I
tree?
was
I know, I saw that.
I was like, I wanted that so bad in the shot, and then like we were
Oh,
about ready to roll for a scene, and all of a sudden Johnny was like, no, Johnny and his wife Kayla was like, Chase, there's a big 6 foot snake looking at me. So I go and I come over. This black racer is literally periscoping about 3 feet in
oh
the air.
my
It was a
God.
pretty big black racer. It was about a 5.5 foot long black racer.
What'd you
Wow.
do?
And I tried to catch him. That son of a bitch outran me.
He ran, outran?
And like Chris would know, black
Yeah.
racers are fast.
Yes.
They're
And
Yes.
not poisonous?
No.
no,
No.
look, there's only three poisonous snakes in the world. Most snakes are venomous. Like if I ate it, I wouldn't be
You
poisoned.
wouldn't die.
Venom
Right.
is a modified saliva that paralyzes you.
Well, I wasn't planning on talking about this until a little later, but since we're on the subject of snakes and you're already showing us how much you know, I have to say that Chase, in the years I've known you, I thought I knew a lot about snakes and lizards and spiders and all those types of animals until I met you. You are as much of what I would say a herpetologist and an entomologist as you are a filmmaker.
Yes.
Because when I talk to you about the animals, you're already very often using the scientific name uh, over the common name. You say, "Oh yeah, this Thamnophis, whatever." You know more about these animals, I think, than anyone that I've met, and that's saying a lot, actually. So um, yeah, always impressive.
I love nature. I'm a big nature guy. I was very socially awkward growing up. I didn't have a lot of friends. Um, Still don't, but
You can't
I
say that. You have a lot
well,
of
I
friends
I
now.
really don't, but I'm content with that. I'm a very different person. When I grew up, and when I was 8 years old, my mom moved to Dixie Highway, and it was called the Woodland Park Apartments. We lived on this hill. It was like about maybe 100, 200 feet in the air, and it was just wooded. I didn't really fit in with a lot of the people in my neighborhood. So what I used to do is once I seen the very first lizard in my entire life, it was a 5 line
Skink.
skink.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I was so fascinated about what it was. And then I just started used to going into the woods. And one time I even caught a copperhead. And I'm sitting there carrying this copperhead around. And I had no idea what it was. And there was some guy who was like, buddy, you
You need to
realize
put
that
that
you're
down.
holding a very venomous snake there. And I was like, it's just a copperhead. And it didn't bite me. I'm glad that it didn't bite me on the way there because then they would have never found me. And, you know, like,
Yeah.
they would have been finding me in the woods with a snake in my hand, like, you know. But no, I
Yeah.
just always was fascinated with lizards and snakes, and that's where my perception has always been. My mother said that growing up, I used to always chase birds. I've always used to take care of stray animals and stuff like that. She thought that I would have been a veterinarian. Um, that's what my
Wa-
mother and father
Was
said.
that ever
It never
something?
occurred to me if anything that I would have like if I would have never pursued filmmaking, I would have loved to work at like Steve Irwin's zoo.
Oh, that's pretty close.
So when Steve Irwin died, I really cried like a baby because I've always wanted to meet him. He was
Oh,
such a very fun, energetic person that loved nature and wildlife, and I what I loved about him is as much as he loves nature and wildlife, that's how I am with my animals. You know, like if one of my creatures die, I'm crying and they're just like it's just a snake. But to me, it's not just a snake. It's you know. So when he died, I really took that very hard because that was somebody I really looked up to.
I know I'm jumping all over the place here, but there's
Hey,
that.
that's it's contagious. It's contagious. We're having a contagious conversation.
So I know that every movie you film, you had like difficulties or like Mother Nature got in your way. Like I saw Between the Living and the Dead, one of your videos, like y'all were like hiding under a tent because it was like pouring down rain.
Oh, that was a tornado warning.
It's a
Yeah.
tornado. Y'all were out there during a tornado warning,
We were in the middle of the woods. Where we're gonna go?
but you knew that it was coming.
No, we didn't.
It
Because
was
the
like,
thing was, when we were out there, we had like access to like weather to a degree, but the
oh
storm
my
that popped
God.
up, that was a severe storm. It wasn't supposed to get that.
Oh my God.
At least according to our sources, because you know we always have people looking at keeping an eye on the weather.
It was a
Um,
surprise.
yeah, it did damage some equipment. It did because we got hail,
Oh.
and we ended up having to replace C stands, a director's monitor. We had to cover some tents because the tent that was covering us, kaboom, kaboom.
Oh
Um,
my
yeah,
God.
and Beast of the Field. When we shot Beast of the Field, we shot that in a hurricane.
Hurricane. I
Ooh.
remember
There was
that.
nothing we could have done about that because I blamed that on Amber Dawn Fox because it came through the Carolinas and when she came to Kentucky, it
She brought
followed
it
her.
with her.
She bought it with her, and I tell her story to her every day. She bought the hurricane.
Anything happen on Blood on the Bleachers?
No, besides it being hot,
You almost had a heat stroke.
bro. We shot because when you shooting
It's
inside of
school.
a location,
No
um,
AC.
no, well, you have to turn it off because of the sound.
Yeah.
So we all over here sweating, you know.
Losing weight. It's okay.
Ooh, I know it's pretty bad when you go outside and it feels better outside than it does
Oh.
inside.
Well, you're slating to film a Widow's Oath in March, right?
Yes, next March.
So are you hoping or planning for it to snow? Or
I think
you're
snow would be amazing. I would love snow, and
so
especially somebody getting slayed and the blood hitting the
Yeah.
snow.
the problem with
Yes.
that is snow is unpredictable. Someday it snow, someday it won't, and then it'll be,
Um,
hard
but
for
you
consistency.
can make fake snow.
That's true. Yes.
So then it's gonna be snowing
It,
in your
yeah,
movie. Yeah,
yeah.
that'll
Well,
be
that would be
because
great because that's one thing I have not done yet is a winter film.
ramen. Thank you. I'm having Steven make him
I
ramen
thought,
because he's been asking for ramen.
Oh
He's been asking
boy.
for ramen for the past 5 minutes. I'm
no, you
asking him.
got it. You made me look behind me. I was,
I was yeah. I thought that came from somewhere around.
All
It's
right,
like outside of the
I did that to a black guy.
look
You did
behind
that. I'm
you.
like, You know what I mean? I thought
Behind
Jason was
you.
Yeah,
behind me. You know?
yeah. It was like it was on a different audio track or something.
Yeah, that's
Behind you.
yeah. And I was like, you made me look behind me. And the crazy thing is I can see what's behind me, but looking at this camera, but you made me look.
Um, so when I looked at the locations that you were filming on live, and I was like, oh my God, that would look amazing if it was snow.
Oh, I
And
agree.
I meant to ask you about it. I'm like, yeah, and now that you can like, snow, blood on snow, oh my God, would
Hmm.
be
It would be
amazing.
great, and I feel like the snow and the winter look fits the tone and the vibe of this
It would be
movie. Like when
amazing.
fall and winter, it usually uses a lot of grays. With this movie, given the stake that she loses her entire family, I really wanted the mood to be. I didn't really want a very colorful looking movie with this. I really wanted this to be,
Cringy.
yeah, very much so.
Hmm.
I really want this movie to look and feel a lot like how the Game of Thrones look.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So
Good.
it's going to be a lot of grays, blacks, not a lot, maybe some browns. It's not going to be a lot of color in this film because I
That's
feel
it.
like that's going to really kind of put you in the mood. It's going to kind of make you feel that uncomfortable feeling because there's a
Yeah.
lot of grief in this movie, and that's one thing I want to give a big shout out to Sean Burkett and Cheyenne Gordon was they really did a great job in the first act of just the going through the grief and the vibe. I mean the loss of that, and then I feel like a lot of scripts struggle with kind of being in a dark place and what you do with that and then coming out of it. I think the person she ends up coming out of that is, I think this movie is going to be one of the most emotional journeys I've ever touched on a subject. When I read the script, I've never read a script and cried reading the script, but this was one of them. And I think if you can do that to me, just reading it, it's my duty to make sure we get that same energy and vibe and tone when we shoot the movie.
Yeah. And I think
He wanted a question for you
what's that?
because you wanted to ask him about the castle.
The castle. Uh, well, just generally, I was wondering how. I think you said you've already found a possible location for a
Mhm.
castle, right? Okay, so and that will meet your expectations for pretty much what?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I've anybody being a filmmaker said they never want to film in the castle are clearly lying to themselves. That's like kind of one of the holy grail locations you can ever
Hmm.
book, and especially for a movie like this. Because when I told Nicole Vegas, I wanted her to kind of have the Charlize Theron vibe of the Queen. I just when you look at Nicole and you see her jawline and you look at like her look, she definitely looked like in another life she could have been a queen.
Well, I did. I admit when I saw her in your movie poster, Charlize Theron came to mind
Yeah, a
immediately.
hundred
She's got that
percent.
look. Yeah.
Yes, I agree. And Nicole is such a very nice person, but her look, like if she doesn't say anything to you, her look, the way she looks at you is it's like she sees through you. Um, and she has really good intuition, so I think she has that ability. She just have not said it out loud, but I think she can like read you and just go, yeah, I'm gonna stay away from that person. She just really have really good intuition, and she was a cop, so I think she
Oh.
get yeah, she was a police officer. I'm like, so
And
I can tell she really has a good read on people.
uh,
So
a vet too.
yeah, so that's
Yeah.
why I specifically had this role in mind for her, and I'm glad she said yes because I really didn't have a plan B if she said no.
So, is there anything you want to tell us about that you can tell us about A Widow's Oath?
Yeah. Widow's Oath, like, what do you want to know?
What can you spill that won't spoil it?
There is a lot of in the movie that I'm going to keep under wraps, but what I will say is if you like a really good revenge arc, like Kill Bill, The Patriot, Braveheart, this movie really is going to hit you in the feels, and I feel like it's going to really be one of those movies you talk about along with those categories of films because it's so well written, and the motivations and the characters are so like it's like one of the most effortlessly well written scripts that I've read where I'm like, dude, I don't even think we really need any touch ups on this. But of course, you got to add perks and like add characters and stuff like
Right.
that to it. But it's truly a great foundation. And I think people are really going to love this movie. And it's so, I mean, it's just as much as a good action film as much as it is as a great solid drama. And it's, I mean, and I haven't shot a drama in a while. You know, this really has such a great dramatic story. You're going to really care about these characters. You're going to care about the motivations and what these people go through, especially Abigail, because I mean, she literally is meant to be broken in the script, and she becomes so much stronger of a person. And that's one thing, like determination is like the one thing you cannot like mess with in nature. Like if you look at anybody that ever came back from something, determination and willpower is it's something that it's nothing new under the sun, but it's something like I feel like we've done something different with this movie.
I see you have four actors so far,
Hmm.
and you say you have another one announcing soon, or
Yes, I'm just waiting
uh,
for the agreement. I cannot
you're like, I
until
want
it's
to tell everyone.
I do, and it's like I really do not like the
Can you
red
tell
tape
us if
area.
it's a male or a female?
It is a male.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
But I can't. I gotta watch my wording because just the legalities of
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It's yeah, I can get into some hot water. I
Okay.
don't want to become
Well, we
like the
don't.
Tom Holland
Well,
of film directors, you
yeah, we
know.
don't want to do that. Uh, Chase, is a widow's oath possibly also a love story?
Yeah, it's a really good question. It's funny because when my wife was making IMDb and we was going through the categories, it does have some element of romance, but it's not a romantic story. It
Okay.
is more of a vengeance story.
Okay.
Um, I really love the dynamics of what Elizabeth Chamberlain's going to be playing as the role of Abigail. And she's just a perfect person for it because when I met her, I was not prepared to see how tall she was. We were looking eye to eye, and I'm looking down to see if she's wearing boots or high heels, and sure enough, she's not. Um, and she just her, you know what I mean?
Intimidating.
Like, yeah, like I'm like, she can probably square up and win.
She will.
Um, like, but she's so nice and gentle, and I think that was the dynamic that I really was looking for when I had this story kind of simmering in the back of my mind, but when I met her, the story sparked to me, and that's when the story came together, and I pitched what I wanted, and then I got the script 2 weeks later, and it's so crazy how fast it came together, and like when you can meet the right person for that project to really spin. And she is just like she looks like she can be vulnerable. She looks like she can be like feminine, but she also looks like if you catch her on a bad day or you did something where you're going to regret it. And I think this is where the movie is really going to work because I mean she has all of that, and just seeing her acting, she's so versatile. Of she has some really good comedic timing. She also can be very dramatic. And that's to me is what really attracted me to her acting ability. And that's why I was like, I really truly think she is going to be great for a Widow's Oath. Because originally I was going to pitch this to Scout Taylor Compton. But then I was like, I think I really need an actress that would not be afraid to do the stunts. And that's the thing about Elizabeth. She's like, whatever challenge, whatever she needs to do, she's fully committed and she does it with a smile. And once I was like, I'm definitely going to cast Elizabeth Chamberlain. So when I told her my ideal and everything, what really solidified her being the part was I asked, can she wield a sword? And she gave the most confident laugh. You ever heard a laugh where it's just like, Like
Oh yeah.
the way you heard it, and I was like, oh
Oh,
God.
like
And she's like, you have no idea how
yeah,
good I am
yeah,
with a
yeah.
sword.
That's what I was
And
thinking.
that came out of her mouth. She's like, you have no idea how good I am with a sword. And then she sent all of these pictures of an example. Of what I was like, and she had I was like, okay, you're hired. You're hired. What can we do to make
Sold.
this work? Because whatever it is, I want you on board. And sure enough, she agreed. And I don't normally jump the gun by asking, and she doesn't normally jump the gun by accepting a role. But I think it just that meeting really made us both comfortable where we were like, yes. So we've drawn up sketches of what she's going to look like, and when I reveal her costume and what it's going to look like, I'm telling you, it's going to have people excited. She looks amazing. She looks like Batwoman but cooler.
Well, another huge bonus is I can tell from the videos she's posted on Facebook about it that she is very excited. Excuse me,
I
very
you,
excited about the film.
yes, and
Yeah,
that's the crazy thing because for me, when I usually cast people,
You
you
don't get a
know,
lot of people promoting.
yeah.
I yes, it's so
She's got
Mhm.
frustrating.
videos through
Yes.
videos, and she
Oh
She's
even
yeah.
already
made a
booked a podcast, a
promo
video.
Yeah.
I
video of
was
her
just
in
like, you
character. I
are.
was like, wow.
Yeah, me
I
too. I
know.
was
I called her and I said I never had nobody this like. The only other person I would say would be you because when I first announced you, you like already had things lined up. But it's not that often I get that.
I love
yeah.
it. I
Hmm.
love
And
how much she
Yeah.
promoted it.
there's conversations where I've worked with people in the past where I'm like, I've literally spilled the X and O's of how important it is. Like I always tell actors, I don't expect you to bring in money. What I do expect is you to reciprocate the energy I'm giving out. It's called
Hmm.
Her and
acting.
Nicole are like just popping things out
Yes.
That
everywhere.
was what always really attracted me to Nicole. Nicole would be doing a treadmill on a live video. Hey
Nonstop.
everybody.
I,
So it's
I mean,
Nicole Butler Vegas here.
I'm walking,
I'm getting my steps in. And she does
and she's
not
walking
lose.
her dog. I'm gonna walk over.
No,
Let me go. Hold
dude,
on. Let me go.
I'm like, she's like a hummingbird. She doesn't never run out of energy. And it's just like, so
I love it.
imagine them two on the screen. Can you imagine all that energy is going to be radiating? Because they just have unmatched energy. And and I say this out loud because I call it like I see it. I'm like, there's nobody ever gave me the energy you guys are giving me for this. And I mean, when I see kind of stuff like that, that's why I see why certain filmmakers are kind of like, okay, I like working with her, and I bring it
Right.
back. And like, I mean, I don't know how I ended up having to recast some people when I had multiple conversations with them about not
Oh,
promoting, and it's just like that's like the one thing you do, like, and then they get
that's how
then
the movie
Y-
works.
Yeah.
it didn't like, and that's what I don't understand that gets me so frustrated sometimes about actors is like, okay, you realize why did Dwayne the Rock Johnson get 20 million and Jennifer, and then they bring another actor so they get $200? I'm like, well, I tell you why. Dwayne the Rock Johnson before, I mean, maybe not now, but
Well, their
back then,
publicists post now
yeah,
for them.
yeah, but back then, I mean,
They
I mean,
post.
they were bringing in big audiences. So if you bring in majority of the movie, you get the back end points, you get the big
Right.
payday. Because at the end of the day, I guess you forgot, although this is art, it is also a business.
Right.
And like that's something you have to consider. So like sometimes people who never promote like
Yep.
DM me and they're like, I would love to work with you. And I'm like, I have no interest. I'm sorry, but your social media is not active. You're not promoting. And why would I need you?
Well, that's one of the things that's baffled me so much over the years writing movie reviews. Very often when I've written very favorable reviews for a movie, I I don't see the
The
many of,
actors.
if any of the actors actually promoting it on social media. And it's such a it's there.
It's
It's
their
an
work, it's
easy
their
thing to
image,
do.
it's
It's even
one
flattering
click.
of the work they've done. But I see that so
I know.
often, and it baffles me.
And then you see this. Why ain't filmmakers paying actors?
Yeah, right.
Are you kidding me? But no, it's
Yeah.
great. Yes, that when you wrote that review for me, it lit my face up. I'm like,
Yes,
oh my god,
I
somebody's in a review of my movie!
I could tell.
Ah!
I could
So
tell, Chase. And I mean, from the time you were so appreciative when I wrote it, and again, like I've told other people, when I see that appreciation, it makes me want to do more for the person myself.
a
And
hundred
so
percent.
just through the whole process, the interview, you were so excited and everything. And
You're the first
that's,
person to interview me
yeah,
and took the time out to even give a shit about my movie. Why,
right.
like to me, that's a no brainer. Like, thank you. Because
Yeah.
that to
But
me led to other
yeah,
things and it started with you.
right. And I genuinely love the movie. And I remember when I saw it, I thought this to myself at the time. I thought, Chase Dudley is going to be successful. I could just see the beginnings of what would be the success you have now.
Wow.
Yes.
And that's crazy because again, although me, I can only dream of that, it doesn't always seem like a reality. Um, and it's just a lot of failures, a lot of lessons, a lot of betrayals.
A lot
One
of
thing,
betrayals.
yeah, a lot of betrayals. I could seriously write a biography alone of just that subject. Also, being a director and a producer of when people don't do what they agree to and you part ways and then they tell people the only
Their
half
fake story.
version, yeah, their story, but not what led to that. Um, that that's where kind of where I guess there was always people say you have to have thick skin because unfortunately most people, not all, most people would only tell what the other person done and not how they contribute to it. But I firmly believe accountability is an emotional discipline and is very important. If you're wrong, to own it. And Maya can relate to this. There's been times where I deleted Maya because I heard that she said something instead of being a man and ask her myself. I
I
ran
got
with what somebody
screenshots.
told me. And then Maya was like, "That never happened, and I wish you talked to me about it." And I'm like, "You know what, Maya, you're right, and I'm sorry." And anytime I've ever been wrong with her, I've always apologized to her, got her on the phone. I didn't go, "Well, I'm sorry, but somebody told me this, so I felt
But
that it's okay with me." And it's like, where the hell is the apology? I feel
Yeah.
like accountability is just something I feel like is getting worse and worse as time go on. Everybody feels that they're right, and if you're right all the time, how can you possibly learn?
right.
We're having a human experience. I'm not always right. I make so many mistakes I can't even count, but I like to learn from those mistakes so I can avoid making them in the future.
Well, speaking of Maya, I can tell you, uh, Maya has told me herself that it takes a lot to piss her off.
Oh yeah.
So that's another big bonus when you're working with Maya. Uh,
Yeah, for her
Hey,
to
don't
be an
tell everyone
Aries,
that. Don't tell
yeah,
everyone that.
for her to be an Aries, she is so like very patient. Like I mean, to be fair, I don't know how many times she's invited me and my family out to dinner, and I keep going. I'm going to be there, and I keep forgetting to forward that information to my wife. And then, luckily, the last time she coordinated with my wife when we were there, and I was like, I have a bad habit of saying I'm going to write something down, and then
You only missed me 3 times. Three
I
years
know,
in a row.
but that's still a big deal, though. Like just being true to your word. Um, that's something I strive for,
But
and
now I know to contact Sam instead of you. So
yes, and it all worked out. But again, you could have been like, screw you, and blocked me and never talked to me again. But you see that I'm pretty transparent and honest, and again, that goes a long way, though.
so jumping around again. Um, out of all the projects you filmed, which one was the hardest and which one was your favorite?
Oh man, I don't know, man, because like I think the hardest film I've ever made was The Desperate.
Really?
Um, yeah, that was so hard to make because there was so many people, there were so many perks to fulfill.
I didn't think
Um,
the Desperate would be. Can you tell me more? I
yes, for one, I mean, we dealt with a lot of rain, although it didn't look like it.
oh,
Um,
interesting. I didn't even
and
know it rained.
yes, we got a lot of rain, and then we were getting stuck a lot.
Oh,
We were super behind most of the time on schedules. Because it was just the first time I worked with the DP and the makeup effects artist, and just a lot of the growing pains. A lot of people in the makeup chair. There was a lot of people who, it was so many people on that set, and it was just, it was already a stressful shoot, long days, long nights. It
It was
was
supposed to be like the desert and dry, right?
true,
So
but there was
rain
so many
wasn't one.
different personalities. There was some clashing.
Oh, gotcha.
You know,
So human
yeah,
problems.
yeah, but no, but the human problems kind of interfering on how we can work around this when you're delayed. I
Right.
felt like it was the most demanding. It's my best looking movie. I can't say Between the Living and the Dead yet because we shot it, and
Between, it's
I
not done
know
yet.
once that hits the editing room, I know for a fact that's going to be the best movie. But for now, since The Desperate is about to come out, The Desperate looks like a studio finance movie.
Ooh.
When was watched that, it really looked like a Netflix original. It really looked like, I mean, it's a big step up from Blood on the Bleachers, and I think Blood on
So
the Bleachers
excited.
looks amazing. Um, it just looks and sound like a movie that we shot for A24,
Oh,
or, I
wow.
mean, just the sound design and the mixing. It because like in a lot of indie films, no matter how good the indie film is, you still can somewhat give an idea
Tell.
that it's indie.
Yeah.
This movie, I swear, it looks so like
Oh
non
man, I can't
indie
wait.
film.
Yeah.
And I'm always very, very honest with myself about what my movie is and what my movie isn't. But with this movie, just the acting, the motivations, the effects, like the organs and the surgery scenes and some of the stuff, like and what we were able to do, like it looks so good. And Johnny did this one pan shot where we were in the church where he meets the nun, and it's just the
I
pan and
love
this.
that. I saw the screenshot that you had for that. That looks
Yeah, just like the fact that we actually got
amazing.
to shoot in this really big church,
Oh.
because I thought they were going to tell us to go to hell. But I mean, then like that pastor, he was so difficult though. You would
Oh,
think, well, the pastor we met, and then the
the
pastor
real
who
pastor?
yeah, the pastor that we met before he retired, he was such a great guy. He signed off to it. He was super excited. And then the new guy that came in didn't want us there at all.
Oh,
He really hated the idea. And then like I mean, I applaud Sam for really dealing with him because he was extra. Like every 20 minutes, he's like, "Can I talk to you?" he's
really?
like,
Mm.
Oh my
he's like,
God.
"You can't touch that." And I'm like, who touched it?
I
I
didn't
wouldn't.
touch it.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And then Sam will try to, like when somebody's really upset, you try to like pat him to calm him down. He's like, "Don't touch me."
Oh,
It's like-
oh
Oh
no.
my God.
I was just like, this
And
motherfucker need
and
Jesus.
and this is a pastor.
He's a
This is an actual
pastor?
pastor. We're talking about a
Yes.
real okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. Are you
No,
sure
he's a
he's a
real
pastor?
pastor.
Oh
I
my
was
Hmm.
like,
God.
man, somebody give me some holy water.
I don't know any pastor like that. Oh
No,
my
I don't
God.
either. I don't
um,
either.
but yeah,
When does the Desperate come out?
um, that's the thing, man. We are just like the with the deliverables with our sales agent and stuff like that. It's so tedious. It's going to definitely be this fall. I'm trying to get the premiere by
Okay,
this
I want.
September. Yeah, I'm trying to get the premiere this September because we're gonna have Noel G there.
Ooh.
Yeah, so yeah, we're going all in. We're gonna bring him out,
Oh yeah.
have meet and greet, meet Noel G, have a photo op, get your autographed Blu-ray signed by Noel G, all of that good stuff, and then prepare for the release. Like I said, this movie, he was so menacing in this movie, so good, and I got chills because I was just seeing how good just the color grade. Like if you like movies like Ozark and Breaking, or well, Ozark is a TV show. If you like series like the Ozark and Breaking Bad, you're gonna love The Desperate because it that whole mood and
Give that vibe.
the tone and the vibe, it just has that vibe to it. And one thing I really love about it was in this movie, there's really no good or bad people because Morty and Emma, they're not bad people, but it demonstrates when you have when you are in debt and you're broke
Kind
and
of like
some
the
of the
Breaking
bad
Bad.
decisions you make, I think to me that's what makes the story very relatable, and I think it's going to be one of my most relatable out of all of our projects because 90% of people in the U.S.
Are
don't have
going through it.
savings. Yeah, they're going through it. They're living paycheck to paycheck, and this is a movie. I kind of really wanted to expand on the subject matter of what would you do if you're in a situation. Would you donate your kidney to try to get yourself out of debt? And what would happen if that kidney is full of kidney stones and now you owe 100 grand? And that's pretty much the movie. It's just a very fast paced moving movie where it's just like also watching Uncut Gems where Adam Sandler, where he's really bad gambler and he's just doing even worse decisions and you're just like stop making bad decisions. And it's just it keeps snowballing and it's just the stakes get so high. I think that's going to be the sell to this movie that I absolutely love. It's so fast.
What
Well, you've
is
already
your
mentioned.
character? Oh, go ahead.
You go ahead. Sorry.
What is your character cameo in that movie? The
I
Desperate.
played I played I played the guy that worked at the grocery store where Emma didn't pay for something and I call her out and I was like, she know what she was doing, cracker ass cracker. So that was really interesting because the person that was supposed to be there that day didn't show up and
So you filled
we
in?
were yeah, because I was like, it's been a while. I was like kind of like
You
Burt
should
Reynolds
cameo
and
in every movie.
I don't have the desire to
It's
act as much as I
fun.
once did.
Oh,
I'm so in
cameo.
tune. I'm so in tune with directing, and I'd be so into the scene where I'm like, "Oh, that was so good," but you know what would be better if you did this, and then it happens, and um, I feel like really bringing out what needs to be brought out in an actor. I think that's my niche. I'm not an actor. I'm not you. Um, I try to be, but I know what I'm not. And
All
as much as I love acting, acting doesn't love me.
right, Chris, sorry I cut you out.
Oh, that's okay. I
Go ahead.
think you've already mentioned some of this, Chase, but I
Sorry.
was just going to ask you for the listeners out there a synopsis of The Desperate. It's about a man who needs to sell
Needs to pay
his.
Yes,
debts,
that's
please.
the yeah. So Morty and Emma are like they have like these schemes that they keep trying to get out of debt quick, and it
Are they a
just
couple?
they're a
Oh,
married
okay.
couple. Yeah, so they're a married couple. They're kind of the thing with this movie, they're not in their honeymoon romantic stage. They're kind of going through what a lot of couples go through in the middle of their relationships when they're having money issues and you're not quite on the same page on how to get out of debt. One person wants to do a loan, one person is like that's not logical, and then small problems become big problems. And that is the state of Morty and Emma. And he's so tired of being in debt, and she's so tired because she's making these little small, sporadic, bad decisions. Like they're in debt, but she's spending money on things that they don't need, and that causes conflict. And sure enough, it comes to the point where he ends up hearing from a coworker about somebody who's did that, and that plants the seed for him to do it and it sounds good. He's like, so it sounds too good to be true, and sure enough, it is because this man had kidney stones, and now he was already in debt, and now he owes 100 grand on top of the debt that he's already in, and he has
Dang.
1 week to pay for that. So um, I think it's a very unique storyline, something
Yes.
that you don't really see very often. And those are the stories that's my niche. I always try to take stories like there's no impossible original idea you can possibly do, but what you could do is take something and spin it.
So what made you come up with The Desperate?
Oh man, I hope
Sorry.
my family don't get offended by me saying this,
Uh-oh.
but um, I think organ harvesting. I think it's more common than we think, like on the black market.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I still would like to know how my cousin, healthy as a horse, goes in just to get his tonsils removed and not wake up.
Oh.
And he died on Thanksgiving morning, and that was probably one of the hardest things in my lifetime that I can remember experiencing. Thanksgiving morning, we're all thinking we're going to get together and found out that my cousin died.
Oh, I'm
Um,
sorry.
and the hospital course settled with the family. Um, But if you look at the third leading cause of death in the United States alone, is medical mistakes.
Yes.
And there's been
Mistakes.
stories, there's been stories where people claimed that they were in a coma and they overheard doctors and stuff talking about how they're going to confiscate the organs and sell them. I think again, it's more common. I can't prove that, but it's a feeling I have. But ideally, that's where it came from. My worst fear, and then I was thinking of how could I apply that into a story.
Now, I don't know if this you noticed this, but
Yeah, your
your
camera stopped.
camera has frozen, Chase. Just so you know, I don't
Oh,
know if
okay.
there's any way to
Oh, hang on.
fix that. Okay.
Froze at you half blinking.
Yeah,
Very
it's not.
attractive.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is. It's not
it looked like
necessarily
I looked like I got possessed.
right.
Yes.
It's not necessarily an image you would want to have as your only one here.
Yeah, yeah, I look like Clayton Bixby from Dave Chappelle.
Well, you're kind of looking like you're thinking you have no idea.
Uh,
Yeah, hang on, let me figure out why is that. I mean, because I
turn
got one.
turn turn off your camera and turn it back on.
Is it still there? Nope. And I just turned it off for a second and hang on. Yeah, that is bad.
I don't have a way to. I think you can just turn off your camera and turn it back on. Let's see. There you go.
All right, there we go.
Yay!
You're back.
I
There
was
you go.
like,
You're moving
You're like,
again.
I swear I look like Clayton Bigsby from the Dave Chappelle show, the Black White Supremacist.
awesome.
So, Chase, speaking of movies with new and very original ideas, I was wondering, have you heard of the film Obsession?
I have.
Okay. So, as an independent filmmaker, I know you must stop and take notice when films like that are as successful as they are. That
Indeed.
one was, I heard, had a budget of $750,000. And as of today, it's made $286.5 million
Million
and counting.
worldwide.
And so, what goes through your mind ahead when this happens as an independent filmmaker? Does it give you any ideas, or
Oh,
just generally, what do you what do you think about that?
I think if you're a filmmaker, I think it should be a blueprint for you to look to realize how important it is for you to network and have your built-in audience because that's what studios are starting to go with now. A studio, if you don't have a built-in audience or a large following, you're not going to get a movie deal. And a lot of filmmakers don't like to do public interviews. They don't like to do Facebook Lives. No matter what I'm going through or how I feel in life, I always put on an avatar to promote what it is that I'm going because the more I think because I'm nowhere near on that journey what he just did, but that's what you're seeing hard work of years of him building his YouTube channel and that effect going to um, the big screen. Ryan Coogler also did the same thing. There's filmmaker, also the back rooms
Yes,
filmmaker.
yes, yes.
Having a
There's
really connected built-in audience and you having a very open dialogue, it is very imperative that you get people excited about what it is that you're doing.
Hmm.
A lot of filmmakers think that this film's going to get discovered and people are going to love it, and they're just as you people are going to have to like you before they like your work. Um, and like you said, you saw my movie Past Due,
Hmm.
and just say hypothetically I didn't respond to you. You would have had no idea who I was, and then that would have just probably stopped there.
Yes,
That exchange turned into a fit our third 14-year and counting relationship where we're here having this conversation today.
yes, yes.
A lot of people don't do the work of what it takes to be out. There is no marketing team. You are the marketing team.
yeah, a lot
I
of per
Hmm.
everywhere I go, I am wearing my merch with
Yes.
director of what I do on my merch every day, 365 days a year, including leap year. I am always talking to people about what it is that I'm doing and how people can get involved. And that is how I made $40,000 in one day.
a
And
lot of
people think
Hmm.
people like, how do you do it? How do you? I'm like, it's not really rocket
Busting your
science. You,
butt off.
yeah,
I'm
you
great.
have to
Yeah.
get out there. You have to talk to people and find not just talk to people. Find out how you can find a way to get people involved where they can benefit from it as well as you. Because if it's just about you, then guess what, my friend? Nobody likes one-sided relationships.
It's
I'm
it's
glad I
been
asked that question. Yeah. Great answer.
it,
Yeah.
it's been several years now that big production companies will like when you put in your resume, well, your resume, like, your acting roles or whatever, they'll look at it, but they also look you up on social media to see how many followings you have. If you don't have a large following, they won't hire you.
Yeah,
They start looking at people's social media now, like if you don't have a large following, no matter how good your acting is, they're not going to hire you. And they
a
they even
hundred
say
percent.
that. Yeah,
Yeah, the
because
100%. Like, so if you're not active, you're not doing live videos, and you're not getting a lot of people engaged, and that's why I told Nicole Vegas. I said it's only about a couple of years you're going to be
yeah,
like
she's
you're going to
awesome.
have like a team surrounded by you, and you'll be lucky to say hi, um, because she puts that work in, and she's just phenomenal and great in marketing and promoting, and that's what people are looking for. Because I think a lot of people forget this is a business. You can be the most talented person in the world, but if you don't have a following and nobody knows who
Yep,
you are,
no
what
point.
does that matter? It does not matter. And that's
And
why
I,
people sometimes they get offended. Like, I'm a working actor. Okay, well,
okay,
you don't have a built-in audience. I'm sorry, but why would I hire you? I'm not being mean. I'm just being honest. This is a business. What I make movies that need to make money because
yeah,
I also take in private equity, and what that means is that I have investors, and
right,
they don't care about your working actor. They care
exactly.
that you are busy? Are you putting the work out? Are you putting it out there? Like
There
all
could
of those
be,
things help.
yeah, there could be 10 wonderful actors and five of them don't have followers at all. Who are they going to pick? The one with the followers, obviously. So people don't understand that. Like you're not
Yeah,
promoting, you're not going to get hired. More than likely, you're going to get hired at like other indie movies, but like the bigger productions, they're not going to hire you.
yeah,
And
a hundred
people don't
percent. I mean,
understand.
you're seeing A-list actors go on talk shows. I mean, what makes you think you're special?
Yeah.
I don't feel
So,
that's my job as an actor. I think you might need to know what your resume is because as an actor, you are a brand, and people either watch you or they don't. So if a lot of people are watching you and you can prove that you have that track record that you bring butts to the seats, that
right?
is your a commodity. That is your pace. That's your base pay right there.
And I would say that the actors who have the large social media followings who are successful also understand the importance, like we talked about earlier, of promoting the work on the social media
Yeah.
because they can have a huge following, and if they don't do much with it, then it's not really worth that much. Um,
Chris, I wanted to say something because I don't think I've ever told you this.
okay.
But you have an amazing radio
Radio voice.
voice.
Everyone
Oh,
Oh
says that
my
wow.
every time.
gosh.
Oh, thank you, Chase.
You
I'm
really do. Like, I'm so engaged. That's why every time you talk, I'm like, I keep forgetting my mouth is open and I need to close it. But
wow.
you have such a very soothing, very relaxed voice where you can just listen. You should
He
really get into voice acting and you should narrate books.
he gets this every
I do.
podcast.
I've heard
Every
it from so
podcast.
many people, and it's people in the business here
Yeah.
making movies, and that means so much. Hearing that from you as a director, who really recognizes the best. So I'm feeling great right now.
Yeah. No, guys, I just, you were talking. I'm like, I got to say this before I forget because I'm ADHD.
Thank you.
No problem.
So, okay. So, besides filmmaking, and your reptiles, what other hobbies do you do outside of work? Besides obviously your family and your kids? Do you do anything else?
um,
That's a lot of things you do to start with.
Yeah,
I don't know if you
already.
have time
yeah,
for anything else.
I really don't like. I try to make it a goal to go see a movie twice a week.
Twice a
Um,
week?
Oh, that's pretty good.
What have you watched the past week?
I watched Disclosure Day.
Disclosure Day.
Oh,
My kids went to go see Obsession, and I really wanted to see it, but Steven Spielberg is the guy who made me fell in love with movies. So Spielberg won by default. Um, but I gotta go watch it again because I don't know how I feel about the movie. Um, there's a lot of things to take in of what you watched, but I'm like, did I love it? Is the question I'm kind of pondering on. Like, it's not a bad movie. I don't know if it was the movie that I guess I don't know. I don't know. You ever watch a movie where you don't know
You're
how
like,
you feel?
I don't know how to feel about it. But
Yeah, it's like so. It's a lot of positives, but ultimately, I guess I thought it was going to be something else. And sometimes you have to kind of suspend your own expectations and just see what it is the filmmaker's telling you. What I did like about it, I miss movies being made the way this movie was made, where it's a dialogue between characters talking about what's morally right and wrong, and then you kind of have to decide which one you believe. I did appreciate that aspect of it. Um, I just I kind of also think there was so many stuff that was stuffed in and rushed that I was like, what is going on? So I had to see it again, but I think instead of going to see it again right away, I think I'm going to see Obsession because I think you ever thought you seen a movie that you thought was good, but the person who's seen another movie's excitement was way over yours,
mhm.
and you're kind of like, damn, I should have seen that.
Yeah.
Have you seen Mortal Kombat?
I have. The only thing I really liked about Mortal Kombat was your character. I'm kidding. But I
I thought some
liked
of the
the.
funny, there was a lot of funny scenes in it.
I
I
didn't really laugh very
it,
much.
I did.
I but the one character that I did laugh at a lot. I'm sorry, but he's not the character that should be the one that's the most funny, and that's Kano.
Yeah,
Kano was not a really
it's not supposed to be that funny.
no, and as a matter of fact, I mean, I I did not like the decision of Carl Urban. I felt from day one the casting was off. I love Carl Urban as an actor; he's phenomenal. I just don't know why you would go, and especially when you're kind of doing like the first one was almost sort of a prequel. I don't know why you would go and get an older actor when a lot of the people around you are younger. I don't know why they made that choice. I felt that they
Because
needed to go.
he's popular right now and he's famous and he's bringing in a lot of audience and views.
Yeah, I think the movie would have done better if they would have released it last October they were supposed to, but they delayed it. And that's also probably another problem I have with the movie is there was multiple delays. And I think the movie that we got after all of these delays, it was kind of like you remember on The Lion King when Simba roared and the hyena was like, "That was it." I guess if it would have came out sooner and not that prolonged wait and all of that buzz and marketing, I just think I probably would have enjoyed it more. But
Took 2 years.
I think another curveball for me too is I felt it was more Katana's story than it was Johnny Cage, but I see
It was
more Johnny.
definitely Katana's
It
story.
was if that was the marketing and kind of they marketed Carl Urban so much in the movie, and he wasn't really even in it. And I know they did it because of the marketing
Yeah.
because he's a name, but it kind of threw me off a little bit. I felt if we kind of knew we were getting more into Katana's arc, I think more audience would have enjoyed it. But I think a lot of people also had an issue with that Katana was the one that beat Shao Kahn. Spoiler alert, sorry. Um, but I think I ultimately it was a good movie.
It's been out for a while. There's no spoiler now.
Yeah, it's a good movie, but I still think it could have been better. It still was not superior to the 1995 Mortal Kombat.
I like that they still use some of the old 19, the old
Yeah,
the old
no,
that's pretty cool.
it was some really good characters. Like I still think the best fight in the movie was Liu Kang versus Kung Lao.
I don't know.
That
I
was a
like a
really good fight. I felt like a lot of the okay, and I'll tell you another thing I really took issue with
a
the
lot of
movie.
fights were really short to me.
A lot of fights was really short, but then there was a lot of fights, and then you about the time you get into that fight,
Like
they're
it's over.
cutting to another fight, and it takes you out of that fight, and then you have to re-get into
The
another
climax is
fight.
gone.
I just don't. Yeah, I don't think that was effective.
No, it was
It
not.
just really took me out of the fight, and I'm like,
Yeah.
what's going on here? This is weird. It's kind of like watching it. You like when you play a demo game, and they only show you so much of the demo before you have to buy it.
Commercial.
Yeah, like I didn't think it worked really well. The '95 Mortal Kombat, I just think it was just a very fun movie. It didn't take itself too seriously, and it knew what it wanted to be. I don't think this movie truly knew what it wanted to be.
Okay,
It tried to
going
be funny, but then it tried to be serious, and I'm like, you can't be both.
okay, going back. Uh, between the living and the dead, how hard was it to get the locations and the old cars? Like you got old cars, right? I saw you
Well, we
post.
had abandoned cars. We had like abandoned buildings. That was very hard. And that was honestly, my daughter actually found one of the big locations.
She found it?
Yeah, because I was
Wow.
stressed. And she literally looked this up, and she got me to
Aw.
introduce. She even went on the location,
I
and
love
she was
that your
taking
kids are
notes.
so into
Yeah.
this.
Wow.
Yes,
The
so
family
she,
business now.
especially my daughter is, but she literally was taking notes of things that, mom told her to ask so she can get back and
Aw.
stuff because she was doing a lot of the scheduling. Um, so it was very difficult because I felt like I was trying to raise money. I was so behind and not where I needed to be raising it. So I felt like I didn't have as much time to do what I needed to do. So I was thinking this movie was going to be such a bad experience because I'm like, I'm so behind on everything. Um, but the set was the exact opposite of the campaign. The set was so fun. Um, Everybody was vibing, everybody was clicking. There was no drama whatsoever. Ego was all put aside. Everybody would really just bought their amazing ideals to the project. It was truly the best on-set experience I've ever had. It was one of those experiences when it was over. I really kind of I was a little bummed. Like I didn't know what to do because it was just like you met people that you made something really great and just there was so many great people that bought up and they bought their A game. The acting was truly phenomenal. And I feel that way with the Desperate, but I felt between Living and the Dead, I knew the crew a lot better because I was now the second time we worked together, so you know what to expect. It was just so many things that made things smoother.
So, who did all the catering for all your sets?
Oh man. Big shout out to Maxwell Brown for our first official sponsor for Pizza Hut. He made a lot
Oh,
of personal stuff.
aw,
Then Christina Pope, big shout out to her. She's also a phenomenal actress, but she actually bought some food for us, and
wow.
it was a couple people that was doing different things. Damien grilled. Like I said, it was just people volunteering coming in and doing things differently.
That's amazing.
In the Desperate, we rented out a food truck. We did all kinds of
Food
different
truck,
things. Yeah,
wow.
and so it was like people got their plates, and it was really cool. There's some really good moments where they had some food. That's one thing I'm really proud of with that movie that we got to do. And right now we're kind of looking into options for this upcoming movie of what we're going to do with food.
You
So
okay?
yeah,
You gotta
yeah.
go?
No, I don't got to go.
Okay.
It's I was wondering who's coming downstairs.
I heard a ghost.
Yeah.
All right, Chris.
I li- I like your background. That must
Thank
be a
you.
yeah. That's
You're missing a movie. You're
Oh,
missing a movie.
oh yeah, I got to get another one done. I don't ever keep these long because the reality is
You
is
keep popping new movies out.
keep popping new movies. So, but it doesn't stay the same, and that's a good thing. That's a good problem to have. Plus,
You know that you can do like they do the backgrounds now where they have Velcro ones where you can print out and pop them up, pop them up, pop them up everywhere.
Mhm.
yeah. But see, I think in my Ryan Reynolds voice, that's just lazy.
That's just tacky.
That's just lazy.
Hey,
And
are you are
one
you
thing
getting
one thing with
Ryan
me,
Reynolds on? Just kidding.
yeah, one thing with me, I mean, I know in order to make money, you have to spend money and you got to invest in yourself. I want my stuff to look good.
Hmm.
If that means I got to put a little extra bucks in there, guess what? At least it looks great.
Well, it looks great, so.
Yeah, it sure
Thank you.
does. So you've already mentioned a lot of
Sorry.
points that would be what?
I just asked a
Oh,
lot of questions.
oh, go ahead.
Having a point though,
No,
isn't it?
no, go ahead. No, yeah. Well, I keep taking questions that
I
he's
know,
gonna
I know.
ask.
I love because I. It's funny because I love seeing Chris going. Oh,
Uh, oh, oh.
y'all good. Y'all good. It's contagious.
Okay, go.
Well, I was just going to say you probably have some advice for filmmakers out there. I know you've already mentioned a lot of really good points, but anything else you want to add as advice for beginning independent filmmakers out there?
Yes. Learn to um listen to your own tuition. When you're making your first couple films, don't worry about the money. Yeah, a lot of first time filmmakers are so worried about making a lot of money, or not making a lot of, or they're talking about raising a lot of money. I think before you should focus on make sure you can tell a story. I think you need to make sure start small, make as minimum locations as possible, so that way your setups and you don't lose too much time. Once you start making movies, each movie, there's events, the money will come. People have to see that you have a track record that you can complete a film before they trust you to give you money. Um, so I would just focus on making sure you tell the best story you possibly can. That's what investors and people who are going to give you money are interested in the first place. Can you tell a story?
You got your 5 random questions. He loved doing these five
Oh,
random questions for
I love
everybody.
it because it makes it not a cookie cutter interview. I love being thrown off because I mean
okay.
that
He throws
means to
people off a
me.
lot.
Well, to me, I just
Well,
like I've done a lot of interviews, kind
well,
of been there, but a lot of these questions you guys have asked me, I don't feel like I've ever answered them. So
great.
that's great.
Awesome. Okay. Well, I think the first random question is going to be difficult for you, Chase. It would be for me. What is your favorite of all your pets?
Oh,
What's
that's a lot.
what's my favorite of all my pets?
And you've got so many that I know this is not, you may not even have an answer, and that's okay. But,
I would say my Aki monitor lizards.
oh, okay. All
With a
right.
close second, my European legless lizards.
Ah,
And then
okay.
I would say my Japanese rat snake. Um, and then my Eastern hognose snake, and then Western hognose. And then I got my green killed lizards. I got curly tail lizards, my berry dragons, then my zebra skinks. I love my tegus. Um, I'm looking at my carpet python right now. I just got a new Brazilian rainbow boa
Oh.
at the reptile show, and
Well,
so beautiful in the
You go to
sun.
every reptile show, don't you?
I
And buy
do.
something home every time.
I really didn't. Well, yeah, I do.
I was gonna say, don't say
I
you didn't.
do, but I'm pretty mindful of what I spend. I always try to spend less than my wife, so that way
How
she.
much is the most you've ever spent on any of your babies in there?
Um, I feel like for the most part I'm very responsible, but the most
Mm.
I've ever spent was for my Aki pair. It was about $1,500. But
wow.
there's people who spend like $10,000 for. I'm like, I would never do nothing like that.
Oh
But
my God.
um,
Now,
I think I've gotten better over the years. Like when we first got together, I used to be really reckless with spending.
She
Um,
she whooped that out of you, didn't she?
yeah, she actually is worse.
Responsibility.
Now she's worse at spending than I am. Now I spend a less amount out of anybody in the house. So when I do something, I'm like, I'm sorry, I believe I spent less than everybody else.
I know those
But
giant centipedes are pretty expensive too, or at least,
believe the Amazon
yeah, that one.
giant centipede, that's the most expensive one because not a lot of people work with them. It was like $250.
Yeah, okay.
But the Vietnamese one was only like $40.
Oh, that's not bad.
Um, You don't ever want to get bit by one. I watched this video with Bryson the other day of somebody got bit by a desert giant centipede, and they said the sensation and the burning sensation of what that felt like was probably one of the worst pains.
I don't think I
Mm.
ever want to get bit by anything.
I like to have one, but I'm a little worried about being bitten. But
I got these plastic tongs, and they work in numbers. Like you could just lift them up.
okay,
And I got those little cages to where they, believe it or not, like they are like they're. If you have like an enclosure where like the insect one, like I do, it would be. There's a lot of safety measures that you can take, and just wear gloves.
okay. Number two, what is your favorite season of the year to film a movie?
For some reason, I always seem to get stuck doing movies in the summer.
It's so hot.
I have shot movies in the fall. I have yet to shoot a movie into winter, and the only movie that I have shot in the winter, it did not come out, and that's Final Offense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um, I want to shoot a movie in the cold so bad. That's why I made A Widow's Oath in March, because what I want to do is I really want to really trick to make that movie look
Winter.
mostly winter. Um, and that's why I mentioned the fake snow. I really think this movie would do so good if it's just looked like it's cold. And just the tone and the vibe with the movie. So I'm really looking forward to that. I shot movies in the spring as well. So yeah, the only movie I have never shot is, but I'll have to say my favorite look, if I'm being honest, I like fall. Um,
Fall. Yeah.
like when we shot
Dead
Locked
leaves.
in October, just the colorful leaves and stuff like that, that
Yeah.
was pretty cool.
Number three, if you could change one thing about yourself, what would it be?
It's a tough question. We can revisit.
We can come back to that one.
No, I'm thinking it's good. It's good to think. At least you can see that's a pretty
Yes.
original question where a person struggle
Yeah.
on. I feel like if I just have all the answers right all the time, it's
Right.
just
Sure.
then people like, oh, they pre-taped it. But no, if I can change one thing about myself, I wish that I could have been a better father to my oldest son, Chase Jr., where I was 23 when he was born, and that was in my first marriage. I was not a good human being. I didn't prioritize my responsibilities as a father or as a man as I should have, and I was very immature.
Well, I
Okay.
hope he'll come back around someday and
We
get to
talked
know you.
and we talked, and I apologize about being a bad father. And we talk every once in a while. But ultimately, I'm just glad he doesn't hate me. He has every right to. But the
Yeah.
fact that he forgave me, that's grace. And that shows me the importance of second chances, because I was a terrible father to him.
Oh, well, you changed a lot, so
Yes.
Yeah, but he still has to live with that effect, and that's a lifelong effect, and hopefully
yeah.
he can overcome. Because although I changed now, he doesn't really
In
probably
his
know that about me
memory,
now,
yeah,
but he has that memory,
of how you
and
were.
that's because I've never met my biological father,
Right.
and that no matter how much you spin it, that is a void that you can relate. And I never thought that I would become the person that I despise. And that's why I'm a father I am to my kids now.
Okay. Number four, if
He's like, I
you
didn't
could,
mean to go there. No, I'm
oh,
not offended.
No,
That's a
he does that a
valid.
lot.
No, that's a valid question, and it just, I guess I was just like, I'm gonna answer it because it's. I always try to be honest as I can as a person.
yeah, well, um,
Number four.
if you could, what, Maya?
Number four?
Number four,
Uh,
if you could remake any movie because you think you could do it better, what would it be?
Locked in.
Oh, that's a good, oh, your
your
own movie.
own?
All right. That's a good answer. Because I know you've you've talked a lot
I
about being
have no
frustrated.
desire of remaking
Yeah.
somebody else's work.
I don't think Locked In was as bad as you think it was. It's
But
only a little sound problem.
imagine if we had a sound guy who knew how to capture sound.
Eh,
And then I wouldn't have had to cut over 35 minutes of the movie.
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Some of the best parts of the movie, the sound was so bad I had to cut. So it really was a movie. Although a lot of people did like the movie, they don't know what I've seen as the full
Right.
package. And to me, I feel like it's such an important subject matter to where I felt like that movie should be better. And that's one movie I really contemplate that I will remake one day because I feel like it's such an important subject.
Okay, number 5. If you could interview any famous film director, who would it be?
Steven Spielberg.
All
He's like
right.
already on it.
Number two would have been it's two of them. Number one, I would have to have two, but it would be
Okay.
Steven Spielberg, and I would love to just interview Quentin Tarantino because I just love Quentin
Uh,
Tarantino. I just love his
I was
personality. I
gonna
like
say you
how.
always talk about him.
But yes, I the closest I get to talking to not Steven Spielberg, but Quentin Tarantino is Sean C. Phillips. Every time I talk to him, his demeanor and just his
Very
persona,
much.
very much like Quentin Tarantino, and I have to do a double take that it's not him. And I don't know if he takes that as a compliment or not, because when I told it to him or not, he didn't even address it. He just kept talking. I was just like, oh, okay. But I'm like, I mean that in the best way possible way. Like, I like Tarantino's passion. Um, and he's just such a knowledgeable library of a filmmaker. Um, I love Tarantino. Them two are like my favorite two filmmakers.
I expected he would be at least one of your favorites because I think
My
we've talked
second
about
favorite
that.
feature film is Pulp Fiction, man.
Yes.
And I
Yeah.
sometimes struggle between which one's a better movie between Pulp Fiction or Django Unchained.
I
I
was
go
gonna
back and
ask that.
forth. I go back and forth. I want to say if like there's just a gun to my head right now and I'm like you have to answer the question and I had to really live on that answer, I would say Django Unchained is a better movie. I think the reason why sometimes Pulp Fiction comes out first is because Pulp Fiction is a big part of my childhood. I remember seeing that movie with my mother in theater. We went to go to Village 8 theaters, and I remember seeing it and thinking to myself, I've never seen nothing like it. I was 12 years old, and just that opening scene with Samuel L. Jackson when he drinks that man's Sprite and he eats his hamburger. Um, Never seen nothing like it. But I think Django Unchained, the production value, the story, and just the acting. I mean, that was such a really good movie.
What I like about, I just want to add this, what I like about Tarantino's movies so much, especially I noticed it so much in From Dusk Till Dawn, is how the dialogue is so interesting.
So
There's so
interesting.
much talking that would be a problem for some movies if it's not interesting, but it's
I
dialogue that just
agree.
pulls
And
you in as much as action would. You're just hanging on every word. And even when they're talking in a lower tone,
I
it
know.
has the power of controlling you to pay more attention to listen to it.
I love the scene in Django Unchained when they're at the dinner table towards the
Yes.
end, and he was like Goldie and Eskimo Joe. By the way, why does he call himself Eskimo Joe? And then
Yeah.
Leonardo DiCaprio's just cutting up his meat, and he's like, "You never know where these nicknames come from." His name
Yeah.
was Joe. Maybe one day he said he was cold,
Yeah.
and that's how natural that sounded. Because I remember me and you are just laughing
Yeah.
our tails off. And
Well,
people are
there,
looking at us like, I'm sorry, that's funny.
yeah.
But
Well, I don't know if you remember, but in From Dusk Till Dawn, there's a similar scene in the very beginning before that. I think it's a grocery store that blows up or whatever. There's a sheriff, and he's in there talking for a long time, and but it's so interesting. I don't know if you remember that or not.
I do.
Yeah, it,
I mean, just with
and
his dialogue alone,
yeah,
I I think that's why I think that's why he won Best Original Screenplays more than Best Director, because I think ultimately, I think his writing is just something short of amazing.
yes,
I have not gotten to read his new novel, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but I'm so looking forward to that because I think I'm going to like the novel better than I like the movie.
I I bought the movie recently just on the strength of all the reviews about it. I haven't watched it yet, but
I
yeah,
I'm not a fan per se. Like I think his last two movies are, in my opinion, were not the Tarantino in the 90s and the early 2000s. I wanted to love Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I think the problem I had with the movie, I just felt like it was just a lot of dialogue. It's just not what and he says that's his favorite film. There's moments in it, like that scene where Leonardo DiCaprio has that meltdown where him as an actor where he did not. That was really one of the best Tarantino moments. The way he shot it, that was such a great moment. I thought him and Brad Pitt was great in it. I think the problem I have with that movie, um, I'm like, you're doing a movie loosely based on the Charles Manson tales.
right.
I think the problem I had with that is you got the same actor that Mindhunter got when the actor that played Charles Manson that did such a phenomenal. Well, how do you not make him the center of the story and make more of that? I was like, you had really an opportunity to make a tale of the Manson, the night of the murders. I felt like if that was more of the movie of what Manson did that night, versus making it very loosely even about that, but that's how the campaign and that's how the movie was marketed to us. I think if I'd never known what that movie was about and I went in to watch it, I would have liked it better, opposed to what I was told the movie was going to be, and it was almost nothing like it.
Okay.
So, if someone were to contact you and hire you as a director, would you take the job? That would take away from you being able to make your film.
I probably would not. And
What if someone paid you $1 million?
it's not even the money.
Well,
But then that million
um,
dollars can fund your next movie completely.
Yes, yes, that's true. And believe it or not, I have been asked to do other people's movies for money. I'm not a work for hire director. I'm a work for passion director. And I don't want to make a movie that I'm not in love with.
What if they give you a script and you really like the movie?
Now that's a whole separate conversation. Um, I have not really read. I've never been pitched to a movie where I have a say so in, because that's also another thing with me is if I cannot
Have a
make
say.
it my own, or if I cannot, that's kind of all the stories I've done. I made it my own. I literally found screenwriters and pitched the story.
You need to
I
be
have to be,
part of it.
yeah, I have to be emotionally invested to the story, because if I'm not into the story, I really feel like you're going to see that
When
um,
you're
in
directing
in
it.
the work. Yeah, so. I try to make sure that people see the love that I have for the story, because you can't fake enthusiasm.
Yeah, you can.
Um,
Sure you can.
and I don't think you can. I don't think you can, because I think no matter how good you think you are at pretending to be, there's going to be somebody, I don't believe you.
and I would say that's why you've been very successful, Chase, is because you do what you're very passionate about, and it helps you to do your absolute best because you believe it and love what you're doing.
Well, to
Absolutely.
me, I'm afraid to make a bad movie, because the reality is I'm sure I have them. Um, I feel when you make one bad movie, you can lose people. And I think that's why Tarantino vowed to only make 10 movies, because he's afraid that he's not going to be in his prime. And I'm kind of arguing that because I'm like, I feel like Clint Eastwood kind of been going for a long time and he's just now retiring. But I mean, 96 years, I mean, that's insane.
Yeah.
He's probably forgotten way more than I would ever learned. Um, but that's just incredible. Um, but ultimately, I know not every movie is going to probably have the appeal to everybody as some, but ideally, I want my movies to kind of really feel, I really want it to kind of just keep carrying on, you know?
Yeah.
And that's why when I choose my next project, of whatever that project's going to be, it's more challenging to pick my next movie each time because I'm like, I got to really raise the bar, I got to really raise the stakes.
Well, speaking of next projects, I'm just curious. Because knowing you, you probably already have something
In mind,
in
the
your
next
head for
one
something
after
beyond
Widows.
a widow's oak.
I got my next five projects.
Oh,
Um,
wow. Awesome.
that's
There
kind
you
of
go.
also another thing, Maya, when you asked me would I take a movie for hire, and I'm like, probably not because
5 years from now.
well, the 5 years from now, knowing my luck, I mean, I got 20 scripts sitting waiting to be repolished. Um, and my next movie is a script that I've had in my possession for since 2014. No, 2015. I'm sorry. And it's a great concept. It's very outdated. It needs to be polished, but it can work. It'll be a great crime drama thriller,
Ooh.
kind of like The Departed. Um, so yeah, I always try to make sure like I'm kind of being diverse. And I know I said I would do a Blood in the Bleachers
You
Part
do a
Two.
comedy.
Comedy,
That's
I
the
want
only
to
thing
do.
you haven't done yet.
Yeah, well, it's plenty of things I
Romance?
haven't. No,
Romance
Well,
comedy?
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
pro,
Romance comedy.
I have never, I have done like a lot of movies, but I mean, there's so many different genres. I haven't done a western. I haven't done, but if
Musical?
I did do a comedy, it would be a romantic comedy. But comedies
Romance
are
comedy.
tricky because I mean, the only comedies you really see in Hollywood are
Hallmarks.
that or I mean, they're now about to make another 21 Jump Street movie.
Adam Sandler kind of movies.
Yeah, you need an A-list because comedies are hard to sell.
Yeah.
But if I was to ever like get connected, um, I would have to have somebody I really admire as a comedian.
Who's that?
And Jim Carrey, Eddie
Mm.
Murphy, somebody like them. They got to be just like insanely funny, um, because you can't teach that. You know what I mean? You either have it or you don't. I just also think comedy would be much harder to sell now because people today don't laugh like they once did. And that's why I don't know if I would ever touch on a comedy. Because I, I think offensive has always been a thing, but I don't think offensive has always been on a magnitude now where you say one thing inappropriate or it's just bad timing or it's not
Yeah.
good, then you're this or you're that. And, like you make a joke against somebody, you're a bigot or you're hateful, and I don't know how we got to where we are now, but to
Almost
me,
everything you say is offensive, pretty much. Someone's
yeah, but to
offended.
me, I grew up
Yeah.
on if I mean and you can ask anybody because I mean that was one of the things I'm glad I own my own business now because when I did work 9 to 5 jobs, I was always in HR because I always offended people because I my sense of
Y-
humor. I
I know
never
your sense of humor.
yeah. See, here's the
Asian, black
thing.
jokes, all kinds of
Yeah,
jokes. Yeah.
like. But see, the thing is, if
It's
I
funny.
like you, I actually do joke with
Yeah.
you. If I'm around you and I'm not talking, that's because I don't
Don't
like
like
you.
you. Yeah.
And if I don't talk to you, that's a big indicator of how I feel about you.
Yeah.
Because, like, if I don't like you, you are dead to me. I would
Yeah.
not acknowledge you. I won't even talk to you. And it's just how I am because I don't want to be rude. I don't want to say anything mean or evil. So if I don't like you and I know I don't like you, and you know I don't like you, don't ask me a question.
Yeah. Stay away.
Okay.
You got anything
Because
else,
there's
Chris?
some people I've openly seen where they talk shit about me on social media and then they see me in person. What's up, Chase? And they come and
Oh,
high five me and
yeah.
I just,
Really? Really, dude? Yeah.
yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Like, seriously?
and then I turn into
You
Tupac
think
and
I don't see that? It's so tough.
give him that look him up and down like, Don't do it. Don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
I know you don't like me,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't like you. We're not gonna
Just
pretend.
leave it like that. Okay.
So weird, you know.
Well, that's all my questions for now. Maybe, next time I'll have more questions. Chris,
I
you
think
have
we
any?
covered a lot. Like,
Yeah, yeah, we sure did.
2 hours.
Absolutely.
yeah, I
Yeah.
love. Yeah, yeah. 2 hours. I think that's a lot of questions.
But
I just
yeah,
love looking down at Chris, and he's.
Papers. Yeah, he's looking at his papers.
You got the
I
Anchorman
just
down
have my
pat, Chris.
phone. He has his papers. He writes it. He's old school.
Yes, because when he got a curious question, he leans in this way.
Yeah,
When he's not quite sure about the question,
he
he
leans
leans
the
the other
other way.
really.
way.
And then he
Wow.
pulls out his papers and he looks at it
Yeah.
like an anchorman.
If
And I'm
Uh,
if he's thrown off a little bit, he scrambles for his papers.
and then he's like this. And I'm just here. Look at my phone.
When y'all
Mm.
started talking a little bit and you were like, I'm sorry, I answered your question. You're like,
Uh,
but
uh.
I loved it though. But that's only me as a director I noticed because I pay attention to beats. Um like I know when my wife is stressed or upset or mad. I know when my daughter's upset. I know like a lot of people's emotions. Like I can tell a lot of things and I'm like, what's wrong? How do you know I'm mad? I watch. I pick up on things.
I sense it.
I can walk in a room and tell what temperature it is. I you know what I mean? Like I can tell if
You haven't
somebody.
gone through menopause yet.
No, not that kind of temperature. I can
I know, I
tell.
was just kidding.
Yeah, I can tell like what people are feeling and thinking because unfortunately, a lot of people don't realize this. You cannot fake how you feel. Um, some people can do it better than others, but generally, a lot of people want to express what they feel, and some people don't feel like they can. So I can tell if I walk in a room and I'm not favored there, or I can tell if there's a shift, like there was maybe a little chatter about me, and I walk in a room. I can always tell these things, and it's so weird. But I pay attention to human body language because 90% of what people say doesn't even come from their mouth.
Nope, is there?
That's
It's their
true.
eyes, their body language, how they posture to
When
you.
they're
When
guilty,
somebody
they
when
turn
somebody
away.
is yeah, when somebody's drawn into you, they tend to posture towards you. When somebody's kind of they don't like you or they're uncomfortable, people are kind of drawn back, maybe cross their arms a little bit in defensive posture. There's things that people do
That they don't
if you really
realize.
pay attention to, yes. And that's how detectives catch you.
All right, Chris.
Uh, uh,
I love your headset though.
oh,
Thank you.
Is that what you
oh,
My
game
her.
game.
Oh,
with?
that
Do
one.
you use that when you game?
It's my gaming headset.
Yeah, I knew it. So you talk crap when you beat people, huh?
Oh no, I don't talk crap. I lead the team.
Oh, really?
I'm a team leader. Yeah.
You ever played Halo? Because I was convinced I played you one time.
Nope.
Oh,
I play Overwatch. It's
oh, okay.
kind of similar, but
Because
it has more
I
options.
got annihilated by this one chick on Halo, and I was like, I think that was Maya.
Wasn't me.
Because you
I
know,
don't
like
play.
you would be like really good.
I annihilate people, but not
Yeah,
not on Halo.
gotcha. Okay, good. I was like, because I was convinced. I messaged that person. Are you Lynn Maya?
That's funny. Bam! In your face.
No, because I mean I went to Halo tournaments and I was really really good. I remember I won some money because
Dang.
we won a tournament and yeah when I worked at GameStop we had like this Halo tournament where it was like
Didn't know you
everybody at
worked
the
at GameStop
facility.
either.
Well, I worked at the warehouse and they had like these little tournaments for the video games and
Oh
I
wow.
beat everybody at the Halo tournament, and then like we did one where like it was like they did like this whole thing where we went to we went to Chicago, and it was at one of the biggest warehouse, and it was like maybe a couple thousand people there, and they had
Wow.
like this big old screen, and I'm playing the other guy who was number one, number two, and I'm talking about palms are sweating and I sure enough beat the guy, and he was
Well,
so
look at
mad. And I got like a pitch. I was a big deal. That was pretty cool.
what made you quit gaming?
Making movies, I don't have time.
You have time. You just
I got to
don't
be
want to.
disciplined, like, because here's the thing. Um,
It
Having
draws you
private
in.
equity, if I'm not making a movie and if I'm not fundraising, I'm watching shows. Jason Horton's YouTube channel. I'm watching Indie Film Hustle. I'm watching Film Riot. I'm watching the changes of movie making and how you can better your skills as a brand and how you can try your best to generate money, because when you take private equity, it's your responsibility and duty to make sure you pay that back.
Right.
So I feel like if I'm playing games or if I'm not disciplined and I'm doing all these different things other than mastering my craft and how to make a movie that can probably generate the money back, because at the end of the day, you make a movie and it bombs, you probably won't make another movie.
Yeah.
Not at the scale that you once did, because I mean, look at a lot of careers of people from, I mean, actors, directors from movies that bomb. Sometimes you're like, what happened to this one person? They bombed. I mean, look at John Travolta before Pulp Fiction. Nobody will hire him. That's what happens. You in a business of what have you done for me lately?
All right, Chris.
So I think I'm so scared of failure. I'm always taken in of, like, that's why if you notice every Sunday I'm posting the box office receipts. That is a good blueprint of what people are going out to see.
Right.
She's like, he done talked my ear off for 2 hours.
Oh no, my
Chris,
son.
Oh,
My
get him
son.
off. I'm kidding.
I
No, I
was
have my
going to
son.
ask you what one of the funniest moments in making a film might have been, and I was wondering if you remember in Undying Love for You when we were the detectives together,
Oh, that was funny.
and I think there was something
It's
where
the
I
door where you
at the
threw the
door where I
gun.
threw the gun down. I don't even know
In
why
Yeah.
I
case
did it,
you
but
were
I know
hopping
I know.
outside the front door. And then when you came in, you just threw the gun.
Wow. I
I
don't
just
have no recollection of that.
oh, you
Wow.
don't? Okay.
That was
No,
so funny.
that's insane. It's things that I don't like have no recollection. I did, and I'll see it later. And I'm like, oh shit, I did do that. Wow. Um, so I think the funniest experience I've ever had on a movie set, um, probably a confrontational moment of just two people kind of having a disconnect, and
Oh,
just how it
that's
happened.
funny.
It's funny because, like, I didn't know it was gonna happen.
Oh,
You know what I mean? Like, I heard um it was a filmmaker talking about religion, which I don't have on my set because I'm like, you don't ever know what kind of response you're gonna get. But before I can go, hey, we don't have that kind of conversation, my sound guy just looks over and he just go, I'm gonna stop you there. And he put his finger like right in the guy's face. And I didn't know what, I just was like, oh my gosh. Oh, okay, bring it in. But luckily it calmed down. But um, I think it's so many funny things that happen on a movie set that I can remember. Whether meeting somebody that you didn't think they were going to sound a certain type of way. Um, like when I met Devin Hilton, um, I did not know his voice was so high pitched. And I remember being so excited to meet him because, his work looks great, and we were filming a movie around the same time at the same location. He was scheduled to shoot a couple hours next to me, so I kind of stopped and they were like, "Hey, Devin Hilton's here." And I was like, "Great!" I was like, "Hang on just 1 second, I'm gonna go meet him." And I meet him, and then he goes like, "Nice to meet you," and then all of a sudden he just goes in, he says, "I just love Michael Bay." And I was so taken away that, like, wow,
you
that was pretty high.
did you
Um,
laugh?
Yeah, like you ever met somebody and they didn't sound nowhere near what you thought they were gonna
Yeah.
sound like?
It's like you
And
didn't
I just
expect
was
people looking.
like, I try to. You ever heard something so funny and you try to hold it in, but I could that smile and that laugh just made it right out of my face, and
No.
I tried my best to not let him
No.
know that I was really taking, because anybody that knows me know that I'm a person. If I think it is, it's gonna be known I thought it. You know what I mean? Like I cannot like it just was one of those things where it was so funny. Um and I couldn't believe like wow. I didn't get no heads up on that. Like, like that was very, very funny to me. I think another guy that I met that was a pretty interesting character. I'd never seen nobody quite like him. Because again, when you meet people in showbiz, you meet a lot of different personalities, you meet a lot of different people. Jonathan Jones. He had a very interesting vibe to him. He reminded me, like the mannerisms, he reminded me so much of Michael Jackson. He just, like one time, like he was shooting a scene and he runs over fast, but then he puts on his headset and he just, and we're like, you ever look around to see if anybody just seen what you just seen?
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that in any bad way of like this. It's just things like again, everybody's different and it's just an experience. So I didn't mean anything negative about it. If you guys watched, it's just an experience that I had and I thought it was fun. They're like, okay. Those are I find humor different. I guess I'm like in my mind, I don't know, man. Like I'm very I find humor very weird. Like things that I find funny, people might not think, but I like meeting people and people's personalities and personas. Those are always really interesting to me.
Yeah, I have a very different sense of humor too.
Yeah.
I often laugh about stuff no one else is laughing about, and then
Yes, that's
sometimes they
me
think I'm
too.
laughing at something about them, and it gets me into some kind of trouble or something trying to
Oh, a
explain it.
hundred
But
percent. Like one thing me and Maya laugh about it is before I used to proofread, I used to misspell so many different things and
Oh.
she'll screenshot what I posted and she'll laugh because
It's like, this is the wrong image for this post, or oh, this
yeah,
you misspelled this. Oh, I think this is not the right post you're supposed.
you
I,
also missed the comma.
yeah, you missed
well,
this one. I think this is not really good for your page. You should post. You might get reported.
And those are always funny because I know I'm like every time I post, I'm like, is Maya gonna message me?
She's
So I like
she's just
I
waiting
double
for.
check stuff and I'm looking over and it's just funny because it's kind of like something we have that is it's just funny.
yeah, as long as I feel people are comfortable with hearing that, I'll tell you. Believe me, I will.
Oh
But
well,
not
to
not
me,
everybody is.
I'm very much an open book.
Yeah,
I don't get too worked up over being corrected because I can always definitely get better. You know, I'm teachable. I'm not always right, and it's funny. Like again, I have a very weird sense of humor. So like when people tease me, I can take it because I believe me, I dish it out. So I always am a firm believer. Don't dish out something you can't take.
right.
Right, Chris?
Any more? Well, that's all my questions, unless
I've
you.
been done of questions. I
Okay,
already
all
told
right
you.
then. All right. So, okay. All right. Well,
She's like, I gotta get to my kids, Chris.
I've
all
been done
right.
with
Well,
questions.
at least it's been a good extension. So,
No, it was, and thank you all so much
yeah,
for
right.
having me.
He
Thank you,
usually
Chase,
ends it
too.
with some. Is there
With
anything you would like to like? Is there anything we missed? Like
oh, I
You know,
forgot that.
yeah,
Yeah,
every
right.
time you forget. I
Oh,
keep saying Chris, Chris, and then you keep forgetting.
oh,
So
okay.
now I'm saying,
Forgot that.
now you say
Well, okay.
it.
I always say that there's always a good question that the interviewers forget to ask that the interviewee wants to talk about. So, is there any question, Chase, that we didn't ask that you wish we had? And so, if there is, go ahead and tell us the question and answer it.
No, I think we had a lot of great questions, a lot of questions that I paused for a minute. I'm like, damn, how am I going to answer this? And that doesn't always happen because usually I'm pretty fast thinking.
Right?
So no,
You can
thank you.
tell the audience where they can stream Broken Innocence, all these other
Oh
ones,
yeah,
when all your movies are
Yeah,
going to come out, where they will be streaming,
yeah,
yes.
and stuff like that.
yeah.
So Broken Innocence and Blood in the Bleachers and most of my movies are on Tubi,
To
Google
be
Play, Amazon Prime, Apple TV,
wow,
Folsom, Plex. The Desperate, I'm trying to get a limited theatrical release because I really believe in this movie, and I
wow.
think with Noel G and some of the people that we have, I do think we have the talent to have a very successful limited theatrical run, and that's what we're working on with this movie. But it will be released this fall, and Between the Living and the Dead should come around the first quarter of 2027, and very exciting times.
If it's in March, that'll be
Yes.
awesome.
And I guess
Yep.
the best place to keep up with all of your that you're
Oh,
doing is
Facebook.
on
Yeah.
Facebook. Okay.
Facebook or Instagram.
Yes.
They're connected. So the good thing is that I can post on Instagram and it goes to my Facebook, and it's
Hmm.
and then I just reshare it to all of my other pages and stuff like that. But ultimately, that's where you will most likely see me do live videos
Hmm.
and, um, just really getting my brand out there. And I have quite a bit of conventions coming up in the next couple of months that's going to be very exciting to really network, and we're going to be busy throughout the last couple quarters of the year, and I'm very excited. And thank you all so much. It's like came back full circle. This is like the first time in a long time we all got on together
Yeah.
and did an
What
interview.
special perks do you have on A Widow's Oak right now? Oats,
Dude,
whatever.
we just launched Get Killed by Elizabeth Chamberlain,
Oh,
Abigail. I mean, there's going to be plenty of blood. There's going to be plenty of vengeance. And I think you definitely want to be on the wrath of her. I mean, Elizabeth's just awesome. And you can be immortalized by being slayed by her. We're going to be launching a new perk this week. I'm still kind of debating on what that's going to be. So many great options. I mean, this campaign is doing really, really well. So now I'm trying to think outside the box, and that's what each project that I really take pride in is that I've relearned marketing because every project is so different from each other. So it's kind of like redoing something unique specifically for this project.
I know
and I
you have
guess
shirts and DVDs. Do you have hats and other stuff or
We don't, but we can. As something also too, 'cause, like the shirts came new. There was people who wanted some shirts, so I was like, get some shirts made.
sorry,
and for
Chris?
all the people who want to get in on the perk of being killed by Elizabeth Chamberlain's character, is there any limit on the body count for that, or does it really?
No, it's. I mean,
Okay.
no, it's
Body
not
count.
because
There's no
again,
limit.
it's. I mean, there's gonna be. I mean, there's an army that takes
Okay.
place,
There you
and
go.
so
Yeah.
it's many ways we can implement that in, and that's
All
the
right.
thing. My screenwriters, they're so good at like making things fit into the story.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for
Yeah.
being on our
Yeah.
podcast with
Thank you,
all
No
the
Chase.
problem. Two
information.
and a
Yeah.
half hours, man. That's. I didn't realize that
It,
much time went by
and it's 2.5 hours that went by quick,
Quickly.
fast.
fast,
So that's
fast.
that's always good. Yeah.
Yeah, it is because
Yeah.
now I'm like,
Right.
I got to go get my son in a few and take him swimming. I promise to take him to the pool.
See,
All
is
right.
this mostly just us talking about films? Because if we were talking about other things, it'll probably be a lot longer. But
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, but it was great conversations.
Yes.
I did
Absolutely.
I did it really just truly felt like we were grabbing lunch and catching up.
Yep.
Which we should be doing again in
We should.
November.
Yep,
Absolutely.
I'll be there.
All right.
I'm
Great.
gonna
Look
tell
forward
Sam
to it.
because I don't trust you.
No, Sam already said she talked to you about it.
Got it.
Okay.
I will be there in March, and so I'll probably grab lunch with y'all again too. So,
Okay, I would
uh,
love to see you.
All right.
See you
All
later.
right.
Bye.
All
Thank
right.
you so
See you, Chase.
much.
Thank
See ya.
you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Clicking the link, lean in, your grin, two mics, alright, let's dive. It's coffee and chaos, scroll and sip, big deep questions, petty trip, side-eye science, bathroom talk, dreams and disasters on a walk. Contagious podcast, catching on so fast about everything and nothing. You'll be laughing, then you're thinking. The Contagious podcast. Let the time slip past, hit play, lean back, keep listening.
Hot take, heartbreak, kitchen chair, life on mute. We overshare. Leans, walled stories, Crisco's wait. Two open diaries, one with faith.
Contagious podcast, catching on so fast about everything and nothing. You'll be laughing, then you're thinking. The Contagious podcast. Let the time slip past, hit play, lean back, keep listening. You're in the group chat, riding the spin, round and around till you're hooked again, The Contagious podcast, catching on so fast about everything and nothing. You'll be laughing, then you're thinking. The Contagious podcast. Let the time slip past, hit play, lean back, keep listening.